KNDY.
Good evening and welcome to high school football fans everywhere. It is the first Friday of the month. It is the first Friday night of this 2023 football season. Max Blasky with you along with Brian Crott at Marysville High School as we get ready for another exciting season of high school football here for the Marysville Bulldogs. First up tonight, Marysville will face off against Abilene as we get kicked off underway here in just a little bit. I want to remind everyone that you can find this broadcast too at the Marysville YouTube page. Go to either the Marysville Junior Senior High on YouTube or go to KNDYradio.com. Of course, you can catch this broadcast on the KNDY mobile app online anytime as well. So, Brian, as we get kicked off, just real quick before we take our first break, as we look into this Marysville team, what's to be expected for this second year under Tony Trimble?
Yeah, so it's the second year for Tony Trimble, but really it's a complete restart for the Marysville Bulldogs, graduating like a dozen seniors, if not more. Most of the guys that are stepping up don't have a ton of experience. There are a few that do, but it's going to be a completely different Marysville team, which, of course, it was the same last year because it was a completely new coach and completely new system.
Part about high school is just revamping and getting those new kids acclimated just as soon as possible. We'll dive deeper a little bit into the Marysville Bulldogs here after our first break. Again, you're listening to Marysville Bulldog football right here on KNDY.
Hey, it's me, Tim Woodcock, principal at Marysville Junior Senior High School, and we are excited to be bringing you this year live-streamed home games. Our media director, Tommy McNish, new to the role, will be making sure that we do a great job bringing you high-quality content on our YouTube channel. And that address, if you can just type in Marysville Junior Senior High School Bulldogs into YouTube, make sure you subscribe. We'll be trying to do football and some home volleyball games. So check us out. Give us a like. Hope to see you on the stream.
Update your home today with a new look from Feldkamp's Furniture Mart. See their tremendous selection of living room, dining room, and bedroom sets and furniture, as well as bedding, accent pieces, appliances, and more. Financing options for any budget up to 24 months with no interest, as well as free delivery, making buying local easy. Shop Feldkamp's Furniture and Flooring in Marysville today.
Tension in Marysville is a leading national manufacturer and marketer of custom envelope products. Great career opportunities include operations, sales, customer service, accounting, tech, and administrative support. Go online to tensioncorp.com for the Careers tab for more details on currently available opportunities. And apply today with Tension Corporation in Marysville, an equal opportunity employer. Michelin tires on sale at Mike's OK Tire in Marysville. Get up to $110 total savings via reward card or virtual prepaid card after online submission with your purchase of 4 new select Michelin passenger or light truck tires. $70 tire rebate on all Michelin tire lines plus $40 bonus rebate on Michelin Cross Climate 2 tires only. Valid through September 12th. Now at Mike's OK Tire in Marysville.
Since 1976, Olmsted Real Estate and Auctions has been your farm and home marketing team. Let the experienced family team of Tom and Rob Olmsted and brother-in-law Tom Kirkland guide you when buying or selling a home or farmland. Delivering timely, honest, and professional guidance, visit olmstedrealestate.com to view current listings and auctions. Your farm and home marketing team is Olmsted Real Estate and Auctions.
310, sold 300. That's buyer 52.
Back here at Marysville High School as we get underway for some Bulldog football here in just a little bit as they play host to the Abilene Cowboys, kicking off here in about 12 minutes. The band is getting underway under a beautiful Friday night here in Marysville. Brian, of course, it's glad to have you along again for another year here on KNDY. I'm going to turn to you a little bit, too, as you are a resident Bulldog announcer. When you look at this team coming into this contest, you talked about it, a younger squad replacing a lot of seniors. So who is a name that needs to step up, and what are you expecting here, at least to get going?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, welcome to you, Max. This is your second year as well. I'm a Marysville graduate. Spent a lot of time here. Stepping up for the Bulldogs. I think you're going to see a lot of Blake Spicer tonight.
Okay.
I think the ball is going to kind of go through him. Will Otot's the quarterback, so obviously he's going to touch it every time.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to see a lot of Blake Spicer, a lot of Slupianic. Those will be the names that you'll hear. They have a little bit of experience last year. Of course, our linemen with Eichmann and Dwelcotti, there's some experience there, Schaefer as well, that there'll be a good solid line for those running backs to run behind. I don't anticipate us being as dual threat as we have been the last few years. What you won't hear is me say Williams tonight, which would be really weird.
Yeah. Getting rid of those Williams twins after last year graduation had a lot of words on that. You spoke about it just real quickly about that offensive line and bringing back. The way that Tony Trimble likes to run his offenses is on the ground, and will put a lot of weight on Will Otot's shoulders with those reads and those triple options. When you look at how that will develop along the year, I guess, how do you expect him to handle his first start, even though he got some playing time last year at quarterback?
Well, so Will has ice water in his veins. I mean, he is cool as a cucumber. You can throw anything at Will, and he can handle it. And that's just from me watching him on the basketball court. I mean, you get a lot of pressure when you're one of 5 guys. Well, now he's going to be one of 11, a little bit different, but he can handle anything Coach throws his way. It will be read-based, and he'll be able to roll with those punches easily.
I know, talking to Tony Trimble, and we'll catch his interview here in just a little bit, but he's been uber excited to see what this offense can bring up. We talk about youth and experience, but that also brings some optimism and some excitement, too, as well. We're going to take another timeout before we come back and preview this Abilene team that was able to defeat Marysville last year, but keep it tuned right here, as we're about 10 minutes away from the first kickoff of this 2023 season.
Nordis Motor Company in Marysville has several pickups in on trade, including a like-new 2022 Chevy Silverado 1500 model. It's a Z71 edition, a local trade-in. They have a 2021 Chevy Colorado four-wheel drive, also a one-owner local trade, and a 2017 Chevy Colorado four-wheel drive, Z71, with under 38,000 actual miles. Used pickups in on trade, plus new Chevys as well, at the Nordis Motor Company.
Get your home in shape this summer with the help of Cromie Lumber. They have everything you need, from lawn and garden tools, patio furniture, grills and accessories, and of course lumber. Cromie Lumber is also your local paint shop. Get the high quality paints without the high prices of those retail paint shops. Contractor quality premium paints and primers. Spectro color matching and computerized mixing machine to ensure good quality matches. That's Cromie Lumber in Marysville and Washington.
If you're a driver over 50, it may be time to switch your auto insurance. The AARP Auto Insurance Program from the Hartford is now available through Copeland Insurance Agency in Marysville. Call today for your free, no-obligation quote. Learn more about special rates, benefits, and service designed especially for AARP members. Call the Copeland Insurance Agency at 619-6220. That's 619-6220. Certain policy features are subject to eligibility and may not be available in all states. Hartford Fire Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut.
The greatest investment a company can make is their employees. Landall Company congratulates their team members for making their 60th year a record-breaking year with an incentive bonus of 15.67% of annual wage, or 8.15 weeks of pay as a bonus. Proud of the work you do and the difference you make. Join the team today with great job opportunities available. Learn more online at landall.com/careers. EEO Vets and Disabilities welcome.
Joined now by Tony Trimble, head coach of the Marysville Bulldogs. Coach, you're heading into year 2 up here in Marysville now. How have summer workouts gone, and how has everything, I guess, worked out since last year, since we last spoke?
Well, the summer went well. Most of the kids were in the weight room all summer. We got a couple camps in this summer, which was good for us, especially when we lost so many seniors last year off last year's team. We've got a lot of inexperienced varsity and experienced players coming up this year that are going to have to be ready to jump into with both feet. You know, the camps that we were able to go to were really good to help them get acclimated a little bit. But, you know, kids have been working hard, and I'm pretty excited about that part of it. Not so excited about the part that the experience part that we just talked about, but you know, if they keep working, they'll pick things up quickly, and we'll just have to go from there.
Well, and you've alluded to it a few times there. Obviously, replacing a big group of seniors, one of, I think, the bigger ones that Marysville has seen for a while. So how has everyone stepped up into their roles? And is there anyone that, I don't want to say a surprise in you, but maybe taken a hold of it better than you thought?
Oh, I mean, the kids have handled it well. I think some of them are getting jump on the others a little bit by figuring things out faster. There's always some surprises. I think, I don't want to necessarily mention names because I'll forget somebody, but then some kids that have stepped up and lived up to all the expectations we've had for them and beyond. And then we've got some that still are in the process of trying to get there.
You guys start off with an Abilene team right away that you fell to last year. What do you want to see, I guess, from the team in that first contest, and how do you hope they handle that?
Well, Abilene has a lot of kids returning off last year's team, so they're a pretty experienced team. We already talked about our inexperience, so we're just hoping that our kids come out and understand our kind of football. I really believe that if we can control the ball and eliminate mistakes, we can't put ourselves in bad situations because of our inexperience. And, if we can do those kind of things, take the ball out of their hands, keep them from being explosive, hopefully we'll have a chance to make it a close game and then at the end have a chance to win it.
Max Blasky back with you here in Marysville as we get ready for the first contest against Abilene. Just listen to head coach Tony Trimble talk about the Abilene Cowboys team coming in here tonight, a team that was able to defeat Marysville last year 14-7 and snapped a 25-game losing streak for the Cowboys in that process. So the Bulldogs are looking for a little bit of revenge here tonight. Going to take a look at the Cowboys and what they bring to the field before we take a look at the home side, Marysville. Big starter for the Abilene Cowboys tonight will be Scotchton Timbrook, there. Number 3 will be your quarterback. The All-State returner joins this squad as a 3-year starter. Weston Rock will play tight end here for the Cowboys tonight. Tegan Ferguson and Braxton Fisher will be out wide at your wideouts. In the backfield for a running team that the Cowboys like to ground and pound, number 26, Zach Miller, a returning starter off of last year that ran for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, is back along with his running mate, Keaton Hargrave, number 25 in the backfield, who ran for just over 100 yards in a shorter junior season. This Cowboy team brings in a lot of experience, 2 3-year starters on the line too as well, to go along with the experience in the backfield for a squad that looks to be much improved off of a 4-5 record from last year. Now looking at the Marysville Bulldogs as we get underway, going to hand it over here to Brian, and he's going to run down the starting lineups for your home team Bulldogs.
Yeah, thanks, Max. So we talked about it already, but Will Otot is going to be the quarterback tonight. He'll have options to hand it off to Grant Hafley, Dakota Slupianic, and Blake Spicer. At wideouts, you'll see Jacob Meyer and Jordan Miller. On the line, we have Alex Shaley. He's a 5'11", 190-pound sophomore. We have Garrett Haverkamp, 6'3", 390-pound senior. Braden Dwelcotti at center, 5'9", 250 senior. Ashton Schaefer, 5'11", 250-pound junior, and Kemper Eichmann, 6', 250-pound senior. That will be your offense for Marysville. Once again, we're coached by Tony Trimble. This is his second year. Slow start last year, but once Marysville Bulldogs got going, they got it going, and they looked good, even made it into the playoffs, had an opportunity to win some games late, didn't quite do it. I know they're looking to improve on that this year.
It's a new season with some new faces. Captains are out there tonight for the captains. Blake Spicer, Brandon Delarocchi, and Will Otot will be captains for the Bulldogs. We're going to take one more time out before we bring you kickoff for the Marysville Bulldogs versus Abilene Cowboys.
RX Drugstore in Marysville is ready to meet your prescription needs with prompt and convenient service. Refills are easy. Order by phone, on the web, or through their mobile app. Can't make it in to pick up your prescription? No problem. Free in-town delivery is offered in Marysville, Frankfort, and Beatty. Your local Health Mart pharmacy provides prescription, over-the-counter, and durable medical equipment services for all your healthcare needs. Thank you for choosing RX Drugstore as your pharmacy. Stop in and visit them today.
If you're in the ag business, you need a financial partner that understands it. We have years of ag business experience, but we make an extra effort to get to know your operation. We make all our loan decisions locally and even offer on-farm visits to learn your business firsthand. We know ag business, your business. Citizens State Bank, Marysville, Waterville, and Hanover. Member FDIC.
We're just making a living, making things grow.
Save money and get free stuff. Seriously, download the CJ Go app before you fill up next time and earn exclusive deals and rewards. Earn points with every fill up and redeem those points for dollars off your purchase. Download the CJ Go app and use it at all CJ Express locations. Join, shop, and save with CJ Express in Marysville and Frankfort.
Welcome back to Homer Hanson Stadium inside Landau Family Sports Complex. Brian Crott and Max Pulaski here bringing you some Friday Night Lights action. Max said it's a beautiful day. I think it's really freaking hot. And it's even hotter down on that field. I'll tell you, if you've been out there when it's hot, one of these 100-degree days, I walked out on that field, it is burning out there. It's 10 degrees hotter there than it is up here, and it's hot here. So Marysville will be receiving. They have the sun at their back. That's a big deal, especially early in the season. Abilene to kick off. Trying to catch a couple of those numbers of who's receiving. I think I saw Hafley head that way. There is your kickoff. Caught at the 2.5. Ran out to the 20. Tackled at the 21-yard line. Marysville Bulldogs will start first and 10. That's Keegan Waters. Marysville will start first and 10 from their own 21-yard line.
Opportunity here for the Bulldogs to get some offense on the field first down. I know Coach Trimble talked about wanting to set the tone early in this contest with his young team. So having the sun at their backs, talked about it, won't have to fight it here to the second half. Be interested to see how they come out here the first drive.
Absolutely. Here come the Bulldogs. A lot of new names, a lot of new faces, but it's still Bulldogs football. Will Otot under center. He gets the snap. Hands it off. He's going to bring it up to the 25-yard line for a 4-yard gain.
Good little power run there to the left side. We talked about the offensive line, too, having some experience coming back here in this contest. And right there, Coach Trimble decides to go right down the gut.
Yeah, Marysville doing exactly what they need to do. Pick up 4 yards, 5 yards every play. It will end in a touchdown every time. Here's Will under center, man in motion. Handoff again to the fullback. He's going to go for a couple, not as many as the first time.
About a 3-yard gain there for Slupionic as both of these runs have went to the fullback. Of course, Marysville coming out with the 2 tight end set, both sides of the line, putting their little halfback in motion, trying to cause some trickeration, but pretty straightforward here. First big third down play of the season underway.
Third down, 4 yards to gain. 4 yards on first, 3 yards on second. This is Donnie Butler football. Pick up 3 or 4 yards every play. Man in motion, just trying to draw the defense off sides. Will's going to reset, calls a new play.
Abilene 5 men up to the line looking for the run.
Blown play, Will runs anyway and gets the first down.
Talked about it, a blown play there, but some athleticism from Otot as he's able to pick up 5 yards on the quarterback scramble. I think his halfback went to the right when he was expecting him to pull back to the left, but a broken play nonetheless ends up in a first down.
Based on what I could see from the linemen, it looked like maybe Will went the wrong direction and everybody else was running off to the right. Either way, Abilene responded to the left, leaving a hole for Will to cut through and pick up the first down.
Talked about the sprint, the brains on a quarterback, too, and that is so important right there on a broken play, just being able to make something. Now Marysville goes wide.
Will. Takes the handoff, keeps it himself. He's up near midfield. He passed it in midfield. All the way down to almost the Abilene 40. We'll call it the Abilene 41.
We're going to call that a 25-yard gain for the quarterback. Keeper ran a triple option to the right side, a good fake out to the pitchman, and kept it himself, cut field, picked up a nice chunk of yardage.
And Will, maybe not the fastest guy you'll ever see carrying that ball, but, man, the decisions he makes and the cuts that he makes really have a huge impact. He turned that up. How many yards did you say? 26?
I'd say about 25, 26. Yeah. He took it across from 140 to the other, and then plus a little extra, cut across the field, too, to find the open gap.
Here's Will. Man in motion is Spicer. Hands it off up the gut. It's going to be Slupionic. Slupianic's going to get maybe 6 yards.
Big pickup for the fullback. Yeah, another 6 yards there for Slupionic, as Marysville has just continued to hand it off to the left or right side, right under center for their big fullback. He's been the only back in the backfield the last two plays, too, as well. So maybe trying to spread this Abilene team out wide a little bit and cut those holes in the middle.
Yep. Always good to start establishing the middle, and then it creates some openings on the outside, and that's exactly what we've seen with two Slupionic dives up the middle, and then Otot goes big out wide. Here's your snap. It's going to be another dive
right
to Slupionic.
Abilene's saying they popped the football out, but I think Slupionic held on to that one.
Near first down yardage, so 6 yards on first down, 4 yards on second down. They're calling it 3rd and inches, although it looks like a first down up here.
Already talking a little bit about the heat, just looked down. Slupionic looked at Trimble, patted his hand on his chest, saying, I need a little water. Well, it's the first drive. You got a few more plays to get under here.
Right. The officials are trying to also decide whether they're going to call this a first down or not.
It looks like they gave him a first down, so that's going to be a pickup of 4 on that one then for Slupionic. Already with 5 carries, does the big fullback junior. 6 foot, 220 pounds. Boy, he comes rumbling at you. I'd be a little worried to tackle him, too.
First down, Marysville. Man in motion. Oh, dive up the middle to Slupionic. He gets to the last level, gets tackled by the ankles, goes all the way down, I believe, to the 9.
20. Almost
22.
Almost a 22-yard pickup there for the big fullback. Broken arm tackle from the middle linebacker of Abilene on that one, and just continued to rumble right down to the end zone. Bulldogs now with a golden opportunity with the ball inside the 10.
First and goal, Marysville, and this looks a lot different than the team last year. Williams twins, very dynamic in the passing game, and they could run very well also. But this is, you don't see any sign of a pass coming for the Bulldogs. This is going to be a run, but Abilene can't stop it.
Not on this first drive anyway. What's the old adage? If it's not broken, not broken, don't fix it. So continue where you're going.
And in motion, Otot rode Slupionic 4 yards, which is really rare that he didn't either pull it or give it, but either way, it worked out just fine.
I think Dakota could have walked in for a touchdown on that one. That or Otot could have followed him up the hole, but nonetheless, a gain of 4 there for the quarterback as they inch even closer.
I would think not something that they practice, either give it or don't, but 4 yards when you're first and goal, we'll take it every time.
As long as it's not a fumble, you worry about those exchanges a little bit, getting a little dicey, so something to keep an eye on here throughout the game, but been fairly clean here so far.
That's very true.
Marysville with 2 tight ends again, going heavy inside the goal line.
Safely in motion. It's a dive up the middle, and it was not an option play. If it was, it would have been pulled. Because Slupionic, everybody dove down on Slupionic. No gain.
I think about 10 of the 11 defenders there for Abilene were diving right at the center for that one. So now comes up another big third down. Had a big third down on the other end of the field, but a little closer now with Abilene backed up here. Be interesting to see where Trimble goes with this. I'm thinking maybe something to the outside.
I would think so. Couple subs in for Marysville. Eli Sologic, one of them. And Brody Lawrence, another, checking into the game.
2 little quicker halfbacks as elbows split left and right.
Here's Otot under center. Man in motion is Spicer. Dive up the middle. Oh, no, it's fake dive up the middle. Wilcott follows. Touchdown, Marysville. Will Otot on a 5-yard run.
Good run there by Will Otot as he's going to open up this scoring drive with 5:29 left here in the first quarter. Marysville is going to take an early 6-0 lead on a Will Otot 5-yard touchdown run.
Looks like Marysville's going to have an extra point kick game. Stephen Lowry is going to be the extra point kicker. There's the snap. Ball's down. Kick is up. Oh, it hit the upright. No good. Marysville Bulldogs on top of the Abilene Cowboys 6-0.
Make every job easier with one stop at Hometown Lumber in Marysville and Axtell Lumber. For any project inside or out, if you're a professional or do-it-yourselfer, get the tools you need, including Milwaukee, DeWalt, Stanley, and more. Battery-operated tools offer the convenience and mobility with the power to get the job done quickly every time. Stocked with all the blades, bits, and accessories for your convenience as well. Check out the power tools selection today and get the work started on your schedule with Hometown Lumber in Marysville and Axtell Lumber.
Hop in, let's go to Honeyman Ford in Seneca, the best place to be.
Skip the drive. Come see us right here in Marysville, Kansas. At Honeyman Auto Sales and Service, you'll find the same honest sales experience backed by the same reliable service. With the same goals in mind, our Marysville location is sure to provide you with a satisfying vehicle experience. Find us on Facebook or stop in at 1122 Pony Express Highway today.
Have you driven a Honeyman Ford lately?
Reminder, too, going on our sister station here in just a little bit, actually getting kicked off. KU is going to play their first college home game tonight, too, so sweep on over to 95.5 if you're looking to catch some Jayhawks action tonight. Of course, K-State will be right here, kickoff at 6 o'clock tomorrow as they kick off their football season, pregame starting at 4 p.m.
KU's got Missouri State at home tonight.
Looking to get a good start for the Jayhawks. That's going to be an interesting Big 12 battle here in Kansas the rest of the year.
Yes, sir. So Marysville drives right down the field with not a whole lot of opposition, and they're on top, 6-0. Here comes Lowry with the kickoff. Abilene Cowboys are back deep. Lowry gets his foot into this one. Wow. Caught at the 1.
That's a good kick.
Brought out to the 15. He's tackled before the 20.
Good coverage there on the return by the Marysville Bulldogs team. Like Brian said, that ball is going to be spotted right at the 20-yard line after the kickoff went to the goal line.
So in high school football, Jason Brenninger's favorite thing to talk about is where the neutral field position is. In high school football, starting at your own 20 is not neutral. That is negative field position. Usually you want to start around that 30 or 35. Both special teams, at least kick cover, have had the advantage on kickoffs. Marysville started on their 21, Abilene starting on their 20.
As any coach will tell you, special teams is ever so important as everything else.
Stockton Timbrook hands the ball off, run outside for 5 yards.
That's a good little run there by Zach Miller as he's going to get his first 5. We're going to call it 6 yards for him on that first down run. Of course, Miller coming back this season after rushing for over 450 yards on the ground and 4 touchdowns. So a dynamic backfield this Abilene team has as they pick up 6 on the first play.
Stockton Timbrook under center, gets the ball, hands it off. It's going to be the same guy, Zachary Miller again. He's going to get plenty for a first down.
We'll give him a pickup there on 8 on that second run. And right down the middle, Abilene's come out in an I set with one receiver on both sides of the formation. And just like Marysville did to them in the first drive, they're just going right down the middle on the first 2 plays.
It looks different, but it's the same thing, and it's just as effective. Like Max just said, I formation setup for Abilene. It's the exact same play, a dive up the middle. This time Marysville finds somewhat of a stop. At least it's not 5 or 7 yards. This time it's only 3.
Be a 3-yard gain again there for Miller as we expect to call his name a lot in the backfield. Of course, talked about it. Stockton Timbrook back after a 1,700-yard passing season, so I'm sure we'll start to see Abilene air it out here pretty soon.
2nd and 7 for the Cowboys. Play action pass. On cue, we get our pass from Timbrook. It's completed right at the chains for a first down. Received by number 35.
I think it was 0 there on Abilene. Where is it? Yes, Brax Fisher was the one that was able to pull that one up for there about that 7-yard gain. But poised there by Timbrook in the pocket as he rolled out to his left, kept that defensive bay and fired a dart along the sideline.
First down for the Cowboys. Quick pass, caught near midfield, crosses midfield and up to the 45.
Weston Rock's going to pick up his first reception here of the evening for a first down. That's going to be an 11-yard gain. We're going to call it. Abilene went wide there with 3 wideouts, and Marysville lost the slot receiver right in the middle. Here they are again with 3 wideouts.
First down in Marysville territory is Abilene. Abilene down 6-0. Quick pass out by Timbrook. Received on the far side. Not enough for a first down, but give him 6 or 7.
Again, Weston Rock picking up that on the quick wide receiver screen to the left side. Tell me if you've seen that play in college a few times throughout the year. Just a quick throw out to your fast wide receiver along the sideline. Let him pick up 5 or 6 and fight to see second down. Marysville leading this one. Still 6-0, here early on into the first quarter. 3 minutes left as we near the end of this quarter.
Second drive of the game. 1 for each team. Marysville's ended in points. Pass here for Timbrook. Caught on the outside, enough for a first down. Brought down by Brody Lawrence. First down, Abilene.
Tegan Funston, first catch him for tonight. So Abilene spread it around now to 3 different receivers here so far as they quickly get on to the other side of the field after Marysville talked about it, pinned them sort of deep at their 20. Here they are already at their opponent's 30-yard line.
First down line to gain is inside the Marysville 20. There's your snap. It's a handoff. Guys, Zachary Miller's making people miss.
Tough running there by Miller as Marysville had a chance to get him about 4 times for a lesser gain, but he's going to go ahead and pick up 7 on that one.
Yeah. Second down, Abilene. Every play's been positive, pretty much for both teams.
Marysville still in their 4-down lineman set as they'll continue to probably be throughout the season. A 4-2-5 is what Tony Trimble likes to run, but need to stop the run when they get an opportunity.
Second and short, quick pass out, caught. He's inside the 20, runs over the Marysville defender. First down, Abilene.
Another 10-yard pickup on the quick wide receiver screen to Weston Rock out there. And really, Abilene's just working a numbers game. If they see Marysville with more backers inside the box, they're just throwing it out for a quick screen. Other way, they're just sending it right up the middle there.
Like you had mentioned, kind of a college-style quick pass out. Force those cornerbacks to move up. Marysville hasn't done that yet, so that quick pass out is still going to be wide open. First down, Abilene. There's your snap. Handoff to Zachary Miller. Slips on the outside. This is going to be the first play that really doesn't go anywhere.
Good tackle at the line of scrimmage there on the left side of that defense. Looked like Josh Musil got in there for the tackle from his defensive line position. So good job by that front 4 to push their weight around and actually tackle them for no gain.
And they even moved the starting chain back a little bit.
Maybe lost the yard there. It's going to bring up down to now a second down and 11 as we're just under 1 minute left to play here in this first quarter.
Stockton Timbrook in shotgun, gets the snap, fakes the handoff, quick pass out, is caught to the 10, held right around the 5. There is a first down to gain at the 4. It's officially to the 6.
A good tackle there, though, by Brody Lawrence out from his cornerback position as he fought through 2 screens and came through and stopped their Rock just short of the 5-yard line. So an opportunity now for the Bulldogs to put an end to this drive.
3rd and 3. Definitely 4-down territory for the Cowboys. Stockton Timbrook gets the snap, hands it off to Zachary Miller, who's tackled in the backfield. And when you lose yardage on 3rd and short, it really makes you think about what you're going to do on fourth and short.
Braden Delawalkie there coming up from his nose guard position, causing the loss of 2 on that one, and I think that's going to force Abilene here into either a long 4th down and 8 or a possible field goal try.
End of the first quarter, Marysville on top, 6-0 over Abilene.
Generations have relied on Kinsley's of Marysville, the Padden Funeral Chapel in Frankfort, Hanover Mortuary, Ward Funeral Homes of Lynn and Washington, and Landreth Axtell Funeral Home. You can continue to rely on the professional experience that they provide and the heartfelt concern that they offer each family that they serve. Caring concern in your family's time of need.
At Galloway Wiegers in Brenniger, we're about building relationships one client and one issue at a time. I'm Jason Brenniger, and I invite you to visit with me for any legal services you might have, including probate, estate planning, and trust administration. Advanced planning has countless advantages to your family, including greater control and disposition of your assets and tax issues that might come up. Call for a no-obligation appointment today. Check us out on our Facebook page or at gwblaw.net.
Hey, welcome back to Homer Hanson Stadium. It's Brian Crott and Max Blasky bringing you some Friday Night Lights action. Marysville Bulldogs on top, 6-0. We have a really long, 70-some yards into a drive for Abilene. But Braden Dwelcott, just blew up the offensive line for Abilene and had a huge stuff. We've got 4th and medium. First line to gain is at the 4 of Marysville. But 4th down and a big decision here for Abilene.
Big decision here. They, I'm sure Abilene, from the coaching standpoint, saw Marysville just walk right down the field in the middle of their defense, and Abilene did the same thing for Marysville for the most of that drive. But finally, that defensive line for Marysville stepped up and got that big stop there right before we went to break. So an opportunity now for the Bulldogs to get a big momentum stop, I guess, to say the least, and see how that defense is reacting.
So I listened to last year's game. I didn't get to watch. I didn't go. I didn't get to call it. Mm-hmm. It was very similar, long drives. And then I remember maybe the first drive for Marysville was a long drive that ended in a fumble from Williams. Mm-hmm. And so we go 80 yards and end up with 0 points. Marysville ended up on the wrong side of that scoreboard, 14-7. Is that a foreshadow of what's going to happen? Obviously, there's a lot of football to be played. One quarter, though, was in the books, and Marysville definitely won that, 6-0. 4th and 5 now for the Abilene Cowboys.
Abilene's going to go wide again with 3 wide receivers split out to the left, 1 to the right. Running back will be Miller.
There's your snap to pass. Incomplete. First down, Marysville.
Good defense there out on the corner. Not exactly who that was. It looks like Jordan Miller was out there on an island against Weston Rock, who already has 4 catches for almost 30 yards to his name. So a good job there by the young corner, getting the stop and giving the ball back now to this Marysville offense that Brian alluded to. Marched right up the field last time.
Yep, they almost, where did any plays go for 0 or
looking back, I don't think so. All positive plays for the Bulldogs on that first possession, and even getting through a few broken plays, too, there at the start of that one.
Yep. So Marysville Bulldogs, 1st and 10 on top, 6-0 here at the start of the second quarter. Will Otot heads out.
A switch of quarters now, too. Marysville will be working into the sun, going left to right.
A quarterback sneak to give yourself a little room to run your offense, and it goes for 4 yards.
Pick up 3 or 4 yards there just by the quarterback sneak. Alluded to it a little bit earlier. If you multiply 3 by 4, you've got 10. So the math decides to math out at the end of the day.
A lot of our listeners know Donnie Butler. He's been around for a long time. In fact, I've called a couple events where I talked about he used to sit behind Jesus in grade school. But Donnie Butler's strategy was always 3 yards. He didn't want anything more than 3. He didn't want anything less than 3. It wears out the defense, and you establish your dominance. Well, that's what Marysville has done so far here in 1 quarter and 1 minute. 2nd down and 6.
No, we have a flag on the play.
Could it delay a game?
It looks like probably a delay a game. It was.
So negates the yardage that Marysville picked up On first down, it's now going to be 2nd and 11.
One of those mental mistakes that after, like you said, you gain 4 yards, you can't have that. Now you're backed up inside almost to your own 5. Going to need to find a way to get out of this one.
Here's your play. Pitch. He's still on his feet to the 11 or 12. Going to be a pickup of 4 or 5.
Good running there by Grant Hafley.
Thank you. I couldn't tell who had that ball. That's what I was trying to figure out. Hafley running really well. I thought he was running high, but, man, he took those hits and bounced right off those guys. So really strong run there by Grant Hafley.
Good-looking run there from the young sophomore, and he's been the one that's been going in motion a lot here early on. We don't mention it every time, but finally now getting an opportunity to get that ball in his hands and make something work.
Triple option is what it was. Will Otot fakes or has an opportunity to dive up the middle, but pulled it and pitched it.
Long 3 and 7 now here.
Here's your third down play. Spicer in motion. It's a pass. First one of Otot. Oh, in and out of Hafley's hands, I believe. Great play call. Just dropped. Maybe a little off there. 4th and long. Brings out the punting for Marysville.
Just a little off there. Decided to run Otot off to his left. Of course, a right-handed quarterback. So trying to throw a little bit about his body, but had Hafley there in the flat just a little bit too high for him, and it looks like Marysville's going to have to punt it away here.
Who do you got back there?
Alex Schill. Looks like Chaley will be your punter here for Marysville on this first punt of the 2023 season.
Your snap. Gets it off. Abilene player watches it land around the 40. Just kind of hovers right where it lands. Right around the 39, 38 of Marysville. Abilene's going to take over 1st and 10 here with a very short field.
We're going to keep it right here as we go through possession change. Want to thank all our sponsors before we get too far into this broadcast. Of course, if it wasn't for you guys, we want to be able to do these broadcasts. And, of course, if you're interested in being a Marysville Sports Booster, just call us up at the station, 785-562-2361. Of course, keep it tuned in, too, after this contest, as we'll have our first Farm Bureau Financial Scoreboard show of the year getting underway. Just as I go to say that, it looks like Abilene's going to take a timeout. So we'll go ahead and take that break, though, as Marysville leads this contest 6-0 with 10 minutes left in the second quarter.
School is back in session. Kick off the school year with an A+ on your internet connection by signing up for Blue Valley Internet. New customers get $100 off. Existing customers that boost their speed get a $50 bill credit. Set your family up for success this school year with the internet from Blue Valley Technologies. Find more details at bluevalley.net/promo.
Sunflower Community Credit Union recognizes that members' health, both personal and financial, is top priority. In order to make your banking a completely safe experience, they're proud to now offer drive-in convenience, Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5:30, Saturday, 8:30 till noon. Lending can be done remotely as well. Contact their friendly loan officers at 562-3741. New members always welcome. Call, go online, or drop by Sunflower Community Credit Union in Marysville for more details. Caring about your personal and financial health, Sunflower Community Credit Union.
Max Blasky back with you here on a Friday night. Brian Crott, of course, next to me, the resident Marysville play-by-play guy as we get forward through. I guess real quick, Brian, when we got a timeout, how do you think the team looked there in that first quarter?
Great. Stalled out a little on that last drive. I think it all came down to that delay of game. You know, penalties are killers. But that first drive was beautiful. Got a defensive stop at the goal line. Couldn't have scripted it any better. We have a quick play here for Abilene. Handoff to Zachary Miller. Well defended by the Bulldogs. Only a couple of yards.
So say give him 3 on that one. That Bulldogs defensive line kind of was getting gashed there a little bit on those first couple plays there for Abilene, but here the last couple opportunities, they've put their nose in the dirt and made this a little tough running game for an Abilene Cowboys team that, you know, theoretically will want to spread it out and has done it so far here early.
Yeah, their running back last year got as many yards as some of Marysville running backs got in a single game, and it took them a whole year to do that. It's because their quarterback had 1,800 yards in the air. They aired it out a lot. They're running a lot more, being a little more multi-dimensional this year. Speaking of pass, here's one caught by number 25 of Abilene. He's going to go down to Marysville's 25-yard line.
Good little kind of slip screen there as Keaton Hargrave came back from his halfback position, kind of ran a little corner angle route, if you want to call it, and got a nice little 13-yard gain there for a first down pickup on Abilene.
Yeah, he's listed in our program as a tight end, but we were told he's going to run the ball a lot. Well, there he was that play. He must be in more of a wing position, and as he lines up, that's exactly what he is. There he ran a traditional tight end route, and so it makes a little more sense why he's listed in my program as a tight end. 1st and 10, Abilene. Pass again. Oh, we got a long ball for the end zone. Oh, opportunity for an interception, but instead it's caught for a touchdown. We have Stockton Timbrook to number 0, Brax Fisher, for an Abilene touchdown. We are tied up at 6.
That was a heck of a ball there by Stockton Timbrook. Let me spit it out there here this afternoon. A good double move was actually played excellently by the corner, and Will Otot came over from his safety position, was just about a half second too late, but a heck of a catch at the front pylon there for Abilene's first score.
I thought Will was going to make a play on that ball, and the Abilene defender just high-pointed it a little better. So here's the extra point. Marysville's extra point was missed off the crossbar. Looks like Stockton Timbrook is also the extra point kicker, and he knocks it through very well for an extra point. So Abilene takes the lead over the Marysville Bulldogs, 7-6. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Bremen Farmers Mutual Insurance, providing high-quality coverage and service, all at a competitive premium cost. Since 1888, Bremen Farmers Mutual has offered homeowner, farm owner, business owner, fire, and inland marine coverage. Dependable and affordable. See your local agent representing Bremen Farmers Mutual Insurance. Learn more about the various insurance products offered by going online at bfmic.com.
Hey, welcome back to Homer Hanson Stadium. It's Brian Trott and Max Lasky bringing you some Friday Night Lights action. Marysville Bulldogs are hosting the Abilene Cowboys for a quarter of football. Marysville led, but Abilene just struck back. It's 7-6. Abilene Cowboys on top of the Bulldogs. About to be an Abilene kickoff.
Don't know if it was indicative of what we were just talking about, was talking how Abilene wanted to air this one out maybe in this contest, and right there as we were doing it, 21 yards touchdown strike from Timbrook to put Abilene up on that one at 7-6.
Yeah, Timbrook to Brax Fisher. Brax Fisher's been heavily involved from a wideout position. These Marysville and Abilene ran very similar plays to start this game. Marysville did it better. Well, here on this last drive, Abilene was tired of running Marysville's identity. They figured themselves out and aired that ball out, which we all know that's going to be their MO all year. Is they're going to be a pass first team. They're just trying to establish the run.
Looks like Waters and Hafley back to return here for the Bulldogs, as that kick's going to be picked up by Hafley along the right sideline.
He brings it up to the 15-20. Good hard run. Hafley runs with a lot of power, gets tackled forward, which adds a couple more yards. Let's call it the 21, same starting position as the very first drive of the game.
That was a good return there by Hafley. Picked it up on a bounce about the 2-yard line. Like I said, brought it up there to about the 25 or so. So a good opportunity there now for this offense for Marysville. Going to need to get back on that rhythm that they had on that first drive. Talked about it last drive, had a penalty there that set them back a little bit, and that was really the case on that contest. So let's see what the Bulldogs can do here, again going left to right into the sun for a few more plays.
I said 21. It's actually the 26. First down Marysville. Will Otot under center. Double tight. Man in motion. Fakes the dive up the middle. Follows it. He's going to go for near first down yardage is Will Otot.
Good running again there by Otot. Followed up his fullback right underneath the guard, and we're going to give him 10 yards on that rushing attack.
First down Marysville. Will Otot showing his ability to run.
Already with 53 yards on the ground does Otot. Slupionic from his fullback position has 38 already tonight. Of course, both of them with 2 runs of plus 20 yards really helps out that numbers when we're getting into it.
First down, Bulldogs. Couple wideouts this time. Here's your snap. Dive up the middle with Slupianic. Give him 3.
Again there, Slupianic just right up the middle. We mentioned it on the play there in the first quarter that it looked like Will Otot held that ball for just a little bit too long, and that one there maybe let it go a little bit too long, so something to watch here. Make sure that ball doesn't pop out as the game continues.
And I said give him 3. They marked, I thought, very friendly. That or Slupianic's found a way to army crawl without touching anything. He got 5 yards.
They did give him 5. I'm going to have to change that one on the score sheet, but a good run, a good hard run, too, and I've noticed that's been the case. Hard running so far from this young Marysville Bulldogs team.
Second and a long 5. Quarterback keeper. Another Will Otot follow, and look at him jump over defenders.
That's going to be a 9-yard gain for Otot as he just followed that fullback right again, and that might be a little key here as we go. Mentioned it wanting to keep this game in control as Coach Trimble will want to do it, and I've been watching the play clock too. Going down to under 5 each time Otot snaps it, so all part of the game plan here in game number 1.
Yeah, Marysville wants to minimize possessions. They know they can capitalize on theirs. A lot of these guys play both ways, and so keeping them a little more fresh. First and 10 Bulldogs across midfield, now in Abilene territory. Here's Will Otot under center. Gets the snap. Hands it off to Slupianic. Slupianic still on his feet. He's going to get 8 or 9 yards on a dive up the middle.
Good run again by Slupianic as now that's 3 straight plays that Marysville has been able to pick up 5+ yards on a first down.
I think I got him at 7.
7 yards, I think, is what they'll give him on that one.
So 2nd and 3 coming up. It's great to see Marysville incorporating, I know a lot of high school teams are this way, but really incorporating the fullback in a year where the professional level has completely eliminated it. Seems like the last fullback on an NFL roster is now cut. So I was a fullback, obviously much differently shaped than Slupianic, who's literally double my size. Speaking of Slupianic, he gets the ball again. And so the difference between him and I is he carries 4 Abilene Cowboys for near first down yardage, whereas I would have tried to slide by them.
And Brian is not exaggerating. I think he had 4 guys on his back there as he was leaning forward, and we're about an inch from the first down. I think one line judge is trying to give it to him.
No, he's signaling keep the clock going. He's saying they're short. So 3rd and inches. I'm a little surprised. They have a better angle than we do, though, I guess. But that's close enough, I would think, even for a measurement. But 3rd and inches. Here's your snap. Will Otot gets pushed forward for 3 or 4 yards.
And Bionic just put the arms right on his back and gave him that first down.
So here's the advantage of we don't have a lot of returners, but we do have Braden Dwelcotti. And it looks like we might have a timeout here. We do. We're going to take it alongside with them. Timeout, Abilene. Marysville behind 6, Abilene 7.
I know it takes good hands to place the winning kick. This is Jack Bloomer, holder of the Big 12 champion Kansas State Wildcats. Inline Construction of Marysville specializes in concrete, commercial, and residential construction. Call them today at 785-562-5525 to plan and execute your building project. When you hire Inline, rest assured you'll be in good hands from start to finish.
With new and expanding inventory and great selection, Crown Over Auto Sales in Marysville is here to serve you. Backed by the service and handshake deal you trust, Crown Over has what you're looking for. But if they don't, talk to Andrew or Ethan about special ordering your next ride. Check out everything on their lot, located across from Valley Vet, East Highway 36 in Marysville, or check them out online at crownoverautosales.com. Friendly service and honest work. That's Crown Over Auto Sales in Marysville.
Welcome back to Homer Hanson Stadium here in Marysville, Kansas. Brian Crott and Max Blasky bringing you some Friday Night Lights football action. Marysville Bulldogs down a point, 6-7. They led the first quarter, have trailed most of the second. Marysville driving, though, here. 1st and 10 in Abilene territory.
And a good job by the offense here. We've talked all game and in the pregame, too, as well, about the inexperience of Marysville. But going up against an Abilene team that returned 9 starters off of last year's squad, I'm going to go ahead and say it that this Marysville team, especially I think the offensive and defensive line here early on, have held their own in this contest, to say the least.
That's exactly what we were talking about right before break, was Braden Dwelcotti, is some of the lone experience on this team, and he leads the center of both offense and defense. Here's a dive by Slupionic right behind Dwelcotti. Give him just 2, one of the smaller runs of the day for Marysville.
A little change there by the Abilene defense as they took the time out on that one. Of course, looking for that run right up the middle, and talked about it, stopping Slupionic for only a 2-yard gain on that one as we roll under 5 minutes here left to play in this second quarter of action before halftime. Of course, coming up at halftime, too, we'll take a new look at news, weather, and sports, along with a halftime interview with head coach Tony Trimble, as throughout the season we'll try and highlight the different sports teams here at Marysville High School, including golf, cross country, and tennis.
Here's your second down and long play. Will Otot keeps it, fakes the dive up the middle. Probably wanted the pitch man, but he got collapsed on by a few Abilene Cowboys. Only going to get a couple more. 3rd and 6 coming up.
So a 3rd and 6 here now with the ball setting at the, where are we at?
32-yard line.
It's at the 32-yard line. You're going into the sun. You have 6 yards to gain as a first down. Will Otot 0 of 1 so far passing, but I'm going to expect something along those lines probably coming here for the Bulldogs.
Under center, couple of wideouts. It is a pass. Lets it loose downfield. He's got a man. Oh, in and out of the hands. I think that was Hafley. Really well-positioned ball. Hafley almost made the adjustment for it. A couple Abilene Cowboys also on his back. Incomplete. 4th down and 6, and decision time for Marysville. Too long for a field goal, too close for a punt, right?
Mm-hmm, it is, and that was a good play. Tried to sneak Hafley out there on the backfield, just run a little seam route right up the middle, but the linebackers for Abilene a little bit too smart on that one, so we'll have to see what the Bulldogs do here already with the play clock standing at 15, and they haven't even broken their huddle yet.
Marysville, I believe, still with all 3 timeouts. Nope, 2. One of those early was charged to Marysville, although I thought they were both at 5, 4, 3, 2. Play is off. Will Otot still has it. Pitches late. Grant fumbles the ball. He does not get on it. I'll tell you what, that fumble works out really well for Marysville. It's going to be first down Abilene, but either way, it was going to be Abilene's ball. So
yeah, Hafley was going to be stopped about 3 yards short, but Otot, just that pitch was a little late. Otot was kind of wrapped up at the hips. I'm sure tried to throw it out late to his right side, but it just couldn't quite connect on that one. So the first turnover of the season is going to result in a Abilene first down, but deep in Marysville territory.
Yeah, we were looking at turnover on downs. Instead, it's going to be fumble recovery, Abilene, but 1st and 10 from their own 18.
1st and 10 from their own 18 now. 3:17 left to play here before halftime, as this has been a good contest. Marysville took the opening drive all the way down and scored 6, was not able to get the extra point. Abilene answered back on their first drive with a touchdown of their own.
Timeout, Abilene. We'll take it. We're going to stay right here. So Marysville down a point. Abilene with the ball. Plenty of time for a pass offense, right, to drive down the field. What's going to happen?
I would think so. Talked about it. Obviously, Abilene has been tossing that ball around so far here today, already with 5 completions for a touchdown on 5 attempts for Tim Brook out of the backfield. So living up to the hype there as the senior returns. But back to that Marysville side so far, I think I've been most impressed with the young team, the resilience. You looked at that Abilene first drive, they just went down just like Marysville did. But from the defensive standpoint, to hold strong on a few of these drives for a young team, I think Coach Trimble, if you're him, you have to be pretty pleased with this score if you can hold Abilene scoreless here before half.
Absolutely agree. This game, like I said earlier, reminds me a lot of last year's contest. It ended in Abilene's favor, 14-7. But it's just those finishing drives. Abilene failed to convert their first drive, and I thought, okay, this is big for Marysville.
And, of course, last year Marysville got off to a slow start with a few losses, and not to look too far ahead, but Waumego's coming up next week, and then already homecoming is going to be the 15th here in Marysville. So put that mark on your calendar. That one's against Chapman, but two tough teams here to start off the season do the Bulldogs face.
All right, here's Abilene's first down play.
Big shot.
Tim Brooks throws downfield. Marysville with a chance to play it well. Oh, incomplete. Falls harmlessly. Triple coverage. I was hoping a Bulldog would come down with that. We had Brody Lawrence and Will Otot, a couple others.
Brody Lawrence with an exceptional job coming from his safety position. And you know, you watch these safeties, Will, on that first touchdown and that one there. Guys that haven't seen that ball come to them in that position, they're not quite sure where to judge it, but a good recovery there, and that's going to force now Abilene into a 2nd down and 10.
Jordan Miller also there in defense. Tim Brook in shotgun, 4 wide receivers, hands it up the gut, huge hole up the middle to the 30, 35, 40. He's off to the races into Marysville territory, makes 2 Marysville guys miss. You need to take it the distance. That's going to be touchdown. Nope, excuse me. Called down at the 30-yard line.
Wow. Taking it almost all the way to the house was Thompson Keener there. The 6-foot junior took that one right down the left side, and no one could stop him for the Bulldogs.
Marysville responded to the 4 wideouts for Abilene, so they were spread out. It left the middle wide open.
We're going to call that a 50-yard pickup there by Keener, as that has absolutely flipped the field here on the Bulldogs. Got to wait for the chain gang now to catch up after that long play.
Official calls timeout on him, waiting to let them get set up. I didn't see the guy step out. I'm glad they called him out, but he might have retained his feet.
Well, and thank goodness he did, but Marysville had 2 opportunities back at the line of scrimmage to get him in their grasp and let him slip away.
1st and 10 Abilene from the Marysville 30. Timbrook to pass, throws it into the middle. Completed, gain of 7 yards. 2nd and 3 coming up.
Little 7-yard shot there to Braxton Fisher, going to be his 3rd catch along with that touchdown early on. Timbrook also had a wheel route by Rock going down the right sideline, but preferred to throw it down the middle, save a little time.
2nd and short now for the Cowboys. Bulldogs down a point. 2.5 minutes until half. Fumble. Quick pass out. I don't know how he got that out. But it is completed, and it's going to be completed for a 1st down. You needed 3 and got 4, maybe 5. 1st down Abilene, 2:21 to go. Abilene on top 1. Bulldogs scored first, but have been unsuccessful to convert since.
Boy, where would this Marysville defense be if they did not allow that 50-yard play here just moments ago, now backed up deep into their own end zone?
Here's your snap. Tim Brooks surveys the field, throws it in the end zone. Nearly intercepted by Lawrence.
Great break there by Brody Lawrence on the left corner. Called his name already 2 or 3 times on this contest. And as a corner, you wait for that ball to get right at the receiver. And we've got the vantage point from up here. And he really did. Broke on that excellently. Timbrook was staring down that corner out the entire way.
2nd and 10 now. Plenty of time for Abilene. Marysville's going to need to come up with a stop. Not a ton of time for the Bulldogs, who rely on 10-minute drives. So
focus on the defense, I think, on this one. If you're Coach Trimble, try and get out of it.
Timbrook rolls out, throws up the middle. It's caught near 1st down yardage, quickly tackled by Will Otot. Short.
Be Fisher picking up another one. They're going to give him 9 yards on that one, so that's going to bring up here a 3rd down and 1 with the ball setting at the 6-yard line, and Abilene moving quick.
3rd and short. Quarterback sneak. Oh, he didn't get much at all.
Not much.
The far sideline judge's initial indication is it's right at the 1st down yardage. He does say 1st down, tells the chain gang to flip over to 1st and goal.
Timbrook's first rush of the night here so far, so a difference in quarterbacks. Otot already with about a dozen touches on the ground. Timbrook, first one.
1 for 1. And it was a big 1 yard.
It was a big 1 yard for Abilene. Needing to stop now for the Bulldogs.
Handoff, Abilene. He's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Abilene. Zachary Miller.
Good running there by the big running back. Give him a 5-yard touchdown run on that one. So he's going to put Abilene up now 13-6.
Minute 24 to go until halftime. Stockton Timbrook for the extra point. There's your snap. Kick nearly blocked, but it's up and through. So 14-6, Abilene extends their lead. We staying right here, or are we going to head to break?
Let's keep it right here since we're so close to half anyway.
Let's do it.
Remind everyone, too, of course, you're listening to this game right now on KNDY FM at 94.1 AM 1570. But throughout the year, you can catch any of these contests, either mine or the Game of the Weeks that will start next week on our website, kndyradio.com. They're underneath the sports tab on that one. Archived games from football, basketball last year, this year, too, as well. On that topic, we will start our Friday night feature game over on our sister stations, FM 95.5 next week. Yours truly will have those calls all throughout the year, as we're going to start off down in Frankfort next week. A high-powered offensive team for Frankfort's going to be playing against a Washington County team that, like Marysville, lost a lot off last year's graduating class, but it will be an exciting one nonetheless. Of course, for Marysville next week, we can look forward to a road contest down at Wamego. That's going to be a tough one. Jason Brenniger and Bruce Dierking will have that call before Brian's back in the saddle in 2 weeks for homecoming on the 15th against Chapman. So football season getting underway. Of course, volleyball season got underway for the Bulldogs on Saturday, too, as well. Other fall sports, cross-country, golf, tennis, too. Everything's starting at the busy time of the year, isn't it, Brian?
Here we go. We probably better give a shout-out to Tommy McNish and his team, too. Hop on YouTube. You can, what do we search? Marysville Junior Senior High School. You can find us live, sometimes catch our ugly faces if you're unlucky, but definitely see the football game.
Yes.
And, so Abilene here to kick off. They're on top 14-6, minute 24 to go. There's your kick. Fielded at the 6.
It's going to be returnable. Let's see what happens.
To the 20, to the 30. Thought he had a seam up the middle, but he does get it. Waters gets a good return past the 30.
I don't want to say not good starting field position by any means, but the last 3 kick returns have been 25-plus yards. So if you look at that, Marysville doing a decent job getting the ball away from their own end zone to start these drives. But now here comes something that Brian alluded to earlier. You have a minute 19. You're a team that likes to run the ball. You have 50, 75 yards to get to the end zone. Let's see what Coach Trimble has up his sleeve.
Yeah, not a quick-moving team, at least that we've seen so far. 1st and 10, Marysville. Will Otot gets the snap, hands it off to the second man through, who gets to the 50, to the 40. It's Hafley dragging him down to the 32-yard line. Huge run.
35-yard pickup there for Hafley as he finally gets a chance to carry the ball. Talked about how good he was running on that one before he fumbled. Another great job of holding that third option real late by Otot, letting Hafley hit that hole hard. Here we are.
1st and 10, Marysville in Abilene territory now. Otot has it to the outside. Can't get quite far enough out. Needs to go down in a hurry. I believe forward progress is going to get him the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Timeout. We're going to stay right here, unless Max tells me otherwise.
We'll keep it right here. This is an interesting situation now. 50.8 seconds left to go. That play was kind of an interesting one, too. Ran Otot bootleg naked out to the left. There was no option pitch for him, so kind of his only option was to try and get upfield there, and Abilene did a good job of keying in on him on that play.
Yeah, Otot, very shifty runner. Maybe not your outside sprinter.
Mm-hmm.
He was in an outside sprint situation. Abilene won that battle. fortunate to get the forward progress back to the line of scrimmage because it could have been a loss of much more.
And forward progress nonetheless, trying to get even closer here towards the end zone and answer back that drive there by Abilene. But Brian keeps alluding to it too. Last year's game, it kind of seemed like a game of missed opportunities for both sides. But I got to be honest, I think both sides are hitting on pretty good cylinders. And if you're Coach Tony Trimble, I guess depending on how this drive ends out, how have you felt your team played here in this first half?
Absolutely. If you're Tony Trimble, you're pleased with the effort. Defensively, just a couple big plays that they needed to stop that they didn't. That will come as the year progresses, stop those big plays. I know that's one of the goals he tracks. He has this awesome track sheet that he has all these goals on. That's one of them, stop the big plays. Here's your 2nd and 10 option play for Marysville, blown up in the backfield. They knew it was coming.
Tries to give it off to Hafley again, but big number 66, Gavin Runyon from Abilene, is going to come up from his nose tackle position and absolutely stop Marysville dead in their tracks. And Trimble is going to take a timeout. We're going to take a 30-second timeout here just to catch our breaths before we bring you the last 41 seconds of this half as Marysville trails Abilene 14-6.
Farmers, they're the lifeblood of America. The men and women who tackle the toughest jobs to put clothes on our backs and food on our tables. They might do it quietly, but their genuine values and tireless work ethic are an inspiration to us all. Some might say farming is a thankless occupation, so that's why we're taking the time to say thanks. Farm Bureau Financial Services, protecting what matters most.
Patrick Booty in Marysville is your local agent with Marshall County, Farm Bureau Insurance, and Farm Bureau Financial Services.
Welcome back to Homer Hanson Stadium. Brian Trott and Max Blasky bringing you some Marysville football action here at Landau Family Sports Complex. And Max, 3rd and long. You called their last 3rd and long play. You got to air it out, right?
3rd and long, you've got to air it out. Here, Will Otod 0 for 2 in the passing game, but you can't be afraid to let it go or try something in the 5 and 6 yard range and cut this down in half.
It's going to be option our way. Will keeps it. He cuts up the middle. He's going to get the first down, maybe a little bit more. Inside the 20. Good running there by Otod as he's going to pick up a good 13 yards, I believe, on that contest. Already up now to 79 yards, almost 100 yards in this first half. 30 seconds to go. 1st and 10, Marysville. Tony Trimble will hold on to this timeout, 25 seconds. Here's your first down play. Quarterback has it. Oh, loses it, and Abilene gets on it. First down, Abilene. A fumble again, I believe, as Otod looked to pitch it late to his halfback Hafley. That's going to be picking up the big fumble for Abilene is Brax Fisher, who already has a touchdown on the offensive side of the ball here tonight, is going to come up big with a fumble recovery and will pretty much diminish Marysville's hopes here before half of getting another score. 16 seconds. Most teams would take a knee. I don't see that out of Abilene. I think Abilene, they'll probably take another shot. But back to that play there by Marysville real quick. They ran that same triple option they were going to, and we give Otod credit for breaking that run right before it. But maybe on that one, trying to be a little bit too much. And that, too, a little bit comes down to the inexperience we've talked about sometimes. Sure, he had the ball held out like he wanted to keep the pitch as an option. Not sure if he intended to late or not. No one will know, but didn't get it. So here, Abilene does try to get a few more yards before half and quickly calls, well, no, the clock will stop for the chains to reset. They have 2 timeouts, one timeout according to the scoreboard. Clock running with 7. They'll get 1 play off here. And now it sounds like they're going to take their timeout. He does take a timeout with 3 seconds to go. Abilene on their own 30. Going to keep it right here. So Abilene on top, 14, Marysville 6. Marysville scored first in the first quarter. That was the only action in the first quarter. And then the second quarter's been on all Abilene. Second quarter's been all Abilene, but it's not been, I want to say, all Abilene either, because Marysville now with 2 drives that have started close to their own 20 or 30-yard line and gotten all the way over to the opponent's 20 or 30-yard line, but 2 costly turnovers there on that triple option that is ran here. And, of course, that's just part of how you run this offense is you're going to have some up and downs with that. But once those keys get figured out and once you get your reads and where you need the ball needs to go,
I think this offense has some opportunity, and we're seeing it here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The Marysville, this is Marysville football to me, is this triple option. We've had several coaches come through here in the last 5-6 decades where that has been Marysville football, triple option. Steve Warner was here for a lot of years. That's all we ran under Steve Warner was triple option. And so you're seeing more of the good old hard-nosed football. It's great to have Trimble here. It's great to have that Marysville identity come back. Here's a quick pass for Abilene to end the first half. Marysville does need to get him down. He's got 10 yards so far. He's going to cross midfield. Marysville in prevent. So, ball comes out late. But either way, somebody covers it. Maybe it just goes out of bounds. But that is the end of the first half. Abilene leads at half, 14 over Marysville Bulldogs 6.
United Bank and Trust has been fulfilling the banking needs of families and businesses in Northeast Kansas for decades. United Bank and Trust is always advancing, and now they'd like to offer a free mobile deposit feature within the mobile banking app. Endorse, click, and submit your check image for deposit. It's a mobile fast world out there, and so is United Bank and Trust, the bank of your future. Visit our website at ubankonline.com or your local branch for more information. United Bank and Trust, banking for your wealth. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Free CPA in Marysville has built a heritage of trust and reliability with your accounting, tax, and business advisory needs through the years. Certified public accountant Marcus Fries, with over 25 years of experience, and his staff continue that tradition of outstanding service to you, the customer, each and every day. Free CPA, downtown Marysville.
Welcome back to Homer Hanson Stadium. You've got Brian Trott and Max Blasky here in the broadcast booth. Abilene on top here at halftime, 14-6. However, Marysville did score first. I didn't know if you had a scoring rundown, Max.
I do real quick here.
Yeah, here, I can do that while you. He's going to take off his shoes and do some math. So Marysville scores first at 5:29, and this was the end of the first possession of the game. 5:29 into the game, well, so almost 7 minutes into the game. Will Otot with a 5-yard touchdown run. Extra point was no good. Marysville leads to start the game 6-0. But second quarter at 8:41, we get a 21-yard strike from Stockton Timbrook. He's kind of got the last name in the first name, right? Yeah. Stockton Timbrook throws the ball to Brax Fisher for a 21-yard strike. And then again at a minute 24 there, still in the second quarter, a 5-yard touchdown run. That was by number 26, Zach Miller. And so that is your scoring here up to this point. As you can see, up till 8 minutes to go in the second quarter, Marysville led this game. It was kind of all Marysville. They had a good fourth down stop there in the on Abilene's first drive. And then Marysville put together a little bit of a drive on their own, but had to punt. And then that Abilene gets back-to-back scores.
A great job by the Marysville offense on that first drive, went right down the field and scored on that position, and we thought we were looking good, but I think the story for that Marysville offense was the 2 turnovers deep in their own territory late in that second quarter. 2 off-time pitches there from Will Otot as he tried to hit Grant Hafley on a few of those. Looking at a few stats here as I tried my best here to keep up with it, Will Otot is 0 for 2 on passes here tonight, so no passing there. On the ground, though, he does have 81 yards rushing. Those 2 fumbles, though, are kind of hindering him, but he does have a rushing touchdown, too, as well. Dakota Slupionic has done good on the ground from the fullback position, 55 yards for the big man right up the middle. And then Grant Hafley, midway through that second quarter, broke a heck of a 35-yard run there, puts him at 39 yards here for the evening. And then 2 for Marysville. Hornbeak also was able to get in there. Looking at Abilene, more on the passing side than anything. 72 yards for Stockton Timbrook, a touchdown pass to Brax Fisher, who ends that half with 69 yards, 33 yards receiving for Weston Rock, 26 for Funston, 13 for Hargrave. And on the ground, it has been all Zach Miller with 35 yards rushing and a touchdown in that first half. Again, at the end of halftime, Abilene leading this one 14-6, as we're going to have news, weather, and sports come up, along with our halftime interview with head coach Tony Trimble. Don't go anywhere, as we'll be back here in just about 12 minutes.
Hey, it's me, Tim Woodcock, principal at Marysville Junior Senior High School, and we are excited to be bringing you this year live-streamed home games. Our media director, Tommy McNish, new to the role, will be making sure that we do a great job bringing you high-quality content on our YouTube channel. And that address, if you can just type in Marysville Junior Senior High School Bulldogs into YouTube, make sure you subscribe. We'll be trying to do football and some home volleyball games. So check us out. Give us a like. Hope to see you on the stream.
Joined now on our halftime show by head coach of the Marysville Bulldogs, Tony Trimble. Coach, as we're now into week one, looking back over summer workouts and all the sorts, I know you guys had a jamboree last Friday. How did those boys getting some live action help them, and did they take away from those experiences like you hope?
Yeah, I mean, they're great for multiple reasons. For the kids, I think it's, especially inexperienced kids, it's a chance to see the speed of the game, the contact, the physicality of the game that we don't necessarily completely replicate in practice, going against each other all the time. So I think that part was good. I told our coaches before the jamboree that we were to the point where you just needed to go out and get hit in the mouth and realize what it was all about. So, and it's great for coaches too, because we can see the things that we need to fix and correct and work on, and so that's kind of been our focus this week.
Well, and you've alluded to it a few times there. Obviously, replacing a big group of seniors, one of, I think, the bigger ones that Marysville has seen for a while. So how has everyone stepped up into their roles? And is there anyone that, I don't want to say a surprise in you, but maybe taken a hold of it better than you thought?
Oh, I mean, the kids have handled it well. I think some of them are jump on the others a little bit by figuring things out faster. There's always some surprises. I think, I don't want to necessarily mention names because I'll forget somebody, but there's been some kids that have stepped up and lived up to all the expectations we've had for them and beyond. And then we've got some that still are in the process of trying to get there. So, one thing about this team is we're really going to be lacking in depth just because of our numbers in the older grades right now. And we're trying to develop depth as we go, which means we're going to be trying to get a lot of people some playing time early on. And so not everybody has stepped up to the spot that we had hoped they'd be at yet, but it is early in the season that continues to build.
Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you saved money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance as you. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind you have you covered. Please come see the girls on Broadway at Alliance Insurance, 785-562-2393.
At Reflections, you will find a treasure trove of items and gifts backed by a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Shop your Hallmark Gold Crown store for the biggest selection in greeting cards, Christmas ornaments, gift wrap, home decor, and gift ideas for all your celebration and personal needs. In addition, Reflections offers custom framing services and specialized Black Squirrel products, along with your favorite K-State and KU fan gear. Shop Reflections in downtown Marysville today.
Max Blasky back with you here, along with Brian Crott at Marysville High School, as we are at halftime against the Abilene Cowboys. Cowboys lead this one 14-6 after Marysville jumped out to an early 6-0 lead. Abilene answered back with two scores of their own in the second quarter. Going to take a look at some scores going on around the area, of course, going on our sister station, FM 95.5. You can catch the KU Jayhawks as they are playing host to Missouri State. Jayhawks lead that one 14-10 with about 6 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Of course, kicking off tomorrow, the K-State Wildcats will start their season as they kick off at 6 p.m. Pregame will start at 4 p.m. right here on AM 1570, FM 94.1. Other scores around the area, Centralia Panthers lead the Valley Heights Mustangs 18-8 at half. Washington County Tigers are defeating the Doniphan West Mustangs 30-0 at half. Lakeside is up 28-22 on Lynn at half as well. Trailing 28-0 is Hanover as they play down at Clifton Clyde. Last score update for Frankfort at the end of the first quarter. Frankfort led Chase County 16-6. In other league action for Marysville, Clay Center is in a tight one with Wamego, only trailing 6-7 at halftime down in that one. Two great teams, a little surprise season by Clay Center last year. Wamego always a threat to repeat. And then Concordia leading Chapman 13-6. That game is at halftime too as well. Players are just getting warmed up, just coming back here on the field, so we'll have a few more minutes as we get underway here for halftime. Again, Marysville Bulldogs trailing in this one 14-6 as halftime is just about over here on the first game of the 2023 season for the Marysville Bulldogs. You keep it tuned right here. We'll be right back after a short timeout.
There is a difference. Oh, what a difference.
When it comes to financing your operation, you want to deal with someone who knows agriculture. Our loan officers are experienced in ag lending. Get your ag loans here. First Commerce Bank. Experience the difference. Member FDIC.
There is a difference.
Every driver is different. So is every car insurance policy. At Blue Valley Insurance, we get it. That's why we offer an array of options, from affordable coverage options to extra services and money-saving discounts. We're here to help you build the best car insurance policy for your needs. What's more, the right car insurance coverage can help protect you and your loved ones in the event of a car accident, theft, or other covered loss. See us at Blue Valley Insurance in Lynn, Greenleaf, Hanover, and Marysville.
That's what everybody else is. Max Blasky back here at Homer Hanson Stadium as the Marysville Bulldogs play host to the Abilene Cowboys. Trailing in this one at half is Marysville 14-6. Want to remind everyone how we got there real quick. Marysville started off hot. Touchdown on their first possession of the game. A 5-yard touchdown run by Will Otant was good at the 5:29 mark. Extra point was no good. Marysville led 6-0. It was all Abilene since then with about 8:40 left to go in that second quarter. Tim Brook hit a streaking receiver, Braxton Fisher, for a touchdown with about 8 minutes left in that quarter. A 21-yard touchdown as Fisher ended that half with 69 yards receiving and a touchdown to his name. Tim Brook ended that half with 72 yards passing and a touchdown too as well. Abilene held the 7-6 lead after the extra point was good, and then right before half, Abilene got another one with 1:24 left, a 5-yard touchdown run by running back Zach Miller, who has been running hard all night so far. 50 yards on 9 attempts, almost 5 yards a rush there for the junior as he rumbled in for the touchdown. Extra point was good, making this contest where we stand 14-6. So, Brian, heading now into the second half, I asked you before we left for halftime, but if you're head coach Tony Trimble and you're into that locker room, what do you tell your boys after watching that first half against an experienced Abilene team?
Well, I think the message is clear. We can hang with anybody. Yeah, we didn't have a whole lot of experience, but we have experience now, and it was at a high level. It starts right here. This is what I say. It starts right here. It starts with a stop right now. We march down the field and we score, and it's a tie ball game. And that's all you need to focus on is the next play, the next set of downs. Don't look to what do we need to do, It's one play at a time.
Just keep it going, and I know we talked that word inexperience we've mentioned a lot, but when you look at, I'm looking at the offensive and defensive line today. I think Marysville has more than held their own in this contest, and I think heading forward, that's going to be a big key for them too as well.
Yeah, keeping those guys healthy. I know they've had issues staying healthy in the past. But we got some big, strong guys up there on the front line.
Tony Trimble mentioned that in one of my comments earlier this week, was depth is going to be a concern for him this year.
Here goes Stephen Lowry. Big kickoff. He's got a big boot. Caught at the 5. Brought up to the 20. Running away and well defended by Marysville. He's going to maybe start at the 25, 26. First down, Abilene.
Good open field tackle there as Weston Rock took that one around the right side. Started all the way on the left pylon, ended up on the right side, but a good job there by the Marysville special teams to end them down. Now just opposite of what we started off that first half. Marysville started with the ball there. Little different story now. Sun's down, lights are on here in Marysville. It's going to be a beautiful evening for a second half of football. But Abilene, who was kind of on a roll at the end of the half, starts off with the ball here.
Tim Brook had a bunch of yards through the air last half. He starts off in the air this half. To the 35, up to the 40. Big first down gain of 15 yards.
Tegan Funston, another reception for him on that one. We're going to call that a 13-yard gain, I think, on that pass and catch.
Yeah, 14, 15, 13.
Pretty close.
Right in there, yeah.
I don't get paid to do math,
yeah, exactly.
So that's what we're doing here.
Exactly. All right, first down. Tim Brook decides to change the play, looks over to his coach.
And again, with 4 wide receivers to split each side, Abilene looking to string out Marysville.
There's your snap. Underthrown, I believe, yes. Underthrown, incomplete up the middle. Pass intended for Brax Fisher.
That's not the first time the Cowboys have done that to the Bulldogs. They'll just go wide, and since Zach Miller already has 50 yards here rushing for the Cowboys, obviously, you're looking to him in the backfield, but you spread out wide and hit those quick little curl routes with your slot receivers. It's been working for Abilene so far.
It's really hard to defend. Trips to the far side, a single receiver here, so Marysville's defense is really spread out. Abilene just looking for the soft spots. Here's a quick pass, like we said, out. Makes the first couple guys miss. Makes the next guy miss. He's going to get into Marysville territory down to the 30. And he still drags Marysville football players all the way down to the 27. Huge gain. 9 plus 23 is 32-yard gain.
Heck of a pitch and catch there for the Cowboys again.
1st and 10, Abilene. Doxson Timbrook adding on to his big numbers that he already had. A lot of these numbers are after the catch because the throws are only 1 or 2 yards downfield.
Again, talked about it real quick early on, but just quick wide receiver screens is really all Abilene is running. Get it out quickly to the hands of your shifty guy, and on that one made 2 Marysville people miss.
Here's the play. Stockton gets a guy deep downfield all the way down to the 6-yard line. That's number 1. Let's see here. Weston Rock.
Good open field tackle, though, by Will Otok coming up from his safety position. Don't always want your safeties making tackles, but in order to stop a touchdown there on that play, absolutely had to.
So 1st and goal for Abilene. More big plays, big chunk yardage for Abilene. We talked about it in the first half. That's one thing Marysville's got to figure out how to stop this year. They got to make sure that they don't allow those big chunk yardage.
2 back-to-back plays of 20-plus yards for Timbrook through the air. That first one, a lot of run after catch. That one standing clean in the pocket, delivering a strike over the middle.
1st and goal. Timbrook gets the snap, hands it off. Tackled inside the 5.
Otot coming up again. You like to hear his name, but from that quarterback position, maybe don't want to see him lowering that shoulder too terribly much. We're going to give him about 5 yards on that one. I'm going to give Miller.
Sounds all right. 2nd and 3. Goal to gain. 9:40 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Marysville down. Abilene looking to add to their lead. Abilene 14, Marysville 6. Timbrook, low snap, still doesn't have it. Still doesn't have it. And Marysville's going to take over. First down, Bulldogs. Slupionic jumps on it.
Good job there by the Marysville defense, not necessarily causing anything, but being in the right spot and being reactive enough to catch that ball.
Sometimes it's just a gift. And the officials are trying to decide what they're calling here.
Are they going to say Timbrook was down?
There's no chance he was.
I think they're saying Timbrook was down. He kind of bent down at his knees, but that's what they're going to say.
That's absolutely horrible. Oh, my gosh. We had a perfect angle for that. We could tell that Timbrook could never get the ball.
I don't think he dropped below his hips to even reach for that ball. He kind of went to hand it off there to his running back as Miller crossed his face left to right, and the ball just kind of slipped down and moved to his left, and he really just reached down and kicked it a few times, kind of when he looked like running after a ping pong ball, just couldn't quite grab it, and Marysville was right there, but they're going to say it's going to stay Cowboys ball.
Wow. Awful.
Wow. That is a huge turn of events right there. Marysville could have got the stop inside their own 10-yard line with that, but now they're going to be forced with a 3rd down and 3 to stop from the 3-yard line.
What? Inadvertent whistle call? Are they going to redo the down?
No, because we're back to 2nd down, so.
Holy cow. So what should have been a turnover in Marysville's ball, Abilene gets a second chance to do a 2nd down play. There it is. Draw. Back keeper. Marysville collapsed on him. A little bit extracurricular, some frustration clearly by Marysville. No flag, though.
We're going to take away that fumble by Timbrook, and his second little rush on that one, Marysville went diving for the ball, knowing that he's got a little butterfingers. But you talk about the hot night in our early opening, too, even coming out of halftime, that sweat and everything getting going makes for some sticky fingers.
That's right. So loss of 2, 3rd and goal now from the 5 instead of the 3.
Big stop here for the Bulldogs as they look to close down this Abilene offense on the first offensive possession of the second half.
Dogs down 6. There's your snap to pass. Quick pass. Caught in the end zone. The inadvertent whistle turns into a touchdown. Of course it always does. Receiving end is Tegan Funkston. Pass from Stockton Timbrook. 5-yard completion for the touchdown. Abilene extends the lead 20-6.
We talk about the inadvertent whistle being a little bit of a problem there, but I'm going to talk about the hold on there from Funkston as he got absolutely sandwiched at the front of that pylon, held on to that ball, but nonetheless, Abilene gets the score.
He did. He did do a great job. Marysville defenders were all over him, held on to it anyway for the touchdown. Timbrook with the extra point. It is up and good. Abilene 21, Marysville 6. We're going to take a quick break. And Marysville will get the ball back.
For reliable trash pickup and roll-off service, call on Temps Disposal. Containers sized to meet your needs for residential, commercial, and construction jobs. Always prompt and professional, Temps Disposal serves Marshall, Washington, and Gage counties. Let them go to work for you. If it's their weekly collection schedule or one-time pickups for construction, moving, or cleanup, Temps Disposal in Marysville is a phone call away at 785-562-5360.
Max Blasky with you back here at Homer Hanson Stadium as we roll through the second half of Marysville Bulldog action. Just gave up a touchdown moments ago after a questionable redo down near the goal line. Nonetheless, though, that Marysville defense that we thought was strong in those first couple of drives have kind of been gashed here, and it's been the big plays, unfortunately, too, that's been the cause.
Yeah, when for most of the plays, we're holding them to -2, +1 or 2. It's just those got to eliminate those 21 and 30-yard plays. What did you called like a 50-yard play somewhere?
There was a 50-yarder. I know I've got 2 passes by Timbrook, 3 over 20 yards. On the offensive side, through the air, the yak yards, I guess, as they're called, I'm sure that's going to be a high number, and that's indicative, too, of missed tackles, though, from the front line, so something to probably be worked on before Wamego, or a trip down to Wamego next Friday night.
Tyler Holloway with the kickoff, kicks it deep, caught at the 7, does Marysville, runs it out almost to the 30, 29 officially.
Borders with a nice little run and catch there. I want to remind everyone, too, of course, if you can't tune into the radio, go ahead and download the KNDY mobile app. Just look in the Google Play Store or the App Store if you got an iPhone. Just search KNDY. Real simple, can take us wherever you go. Catch any Marysville home game here and away. Of course, you can also check out everything on KNDYradio.com, including archives of all games this season long.
First down, Marysville. Will Otot discussing things over with Dakota Slupianic. Man in motion. Option our way. Will Otot gets brought down pretty hard after maybe a 1 or 2 yard gain.
Again, Otot with that second read just tried to follow his fullback right down that right side. But the last couple times, Abilene has been right there, not only on that one, but the one he fumbled to right before half. Abilene was right in his grill when he turned that corner.
Marysville keeping their plays pretty simple and not running a whole large variety of plays, and so Abilene starting to key in on those a little more. 2nd and 9 now. We gave a shout-out earlier, but another shout-out to Tommy McNish and his team. They've got us on YouTube tonight. So dive up the middle to Dakota Slupianic.
Ooh, ball's out, ball's out.
Marysville signals they still have it. Abilene's not claiming that they're wrong. Might have got a few extra yards due to the forward fumble. Yes, up to the 34-yard line. Brian Cook says Blake Spicer was the one that jumped on it.
We talked about Spicer in the first going, talked about him being a back that came back this year and could possibly get some reps. I've got him down as that's his first rush so far here tonight.
Wow.
So really going with Slupianic at fullback, and Oton has called his number a lot on that triple option, but part of being a younger player, too, as well. Don't force your turnover. Just keep the ball sometimes is better than not.
3rd and medium. 3rd and 5. Blown play. Will's looking for somewhere to go just to make it into something.
Stop for a loss on that one.
Nothing.
A blown play again as Otot looked to his one side. Everyone else went the other way. A simple communication error is going to be a loss of 1 on that contest.
They gave him no gain, fortunately. I don't know how. I'm not sure how he got back to the line of scrimmage other than that he starts under it. But 4th and 5.
A tough break there for that Marysville offense, too, as you were just hoping they could get some momentum back after giving up that touchdown to Abilene moments ago.
Oh, timeout, Marysville. We're going to keep it right here. So Abilene's on top, 21, Marysville 6. Marysville scored first, but 21 unanswered by Abilene.
21 unanswered there by Abilene, and it's not all to do on the defensive side either. This defense has played pretty good. We talked about it moments ago. The big plays have really been the struggle for this team, but that's missed tackles. That's maybe not in your assignments, maybe not where you need to be lined up at. And to be honest, that's just experience on the field that some of this Marysville team, besides that offense and defensive line, they just really don't have.
Right.
Part of cutting your teeth on high school football is you've just got to get out there and let it roll.
Yep, you're exactly right. So first time out for Marysville. Usually in the second half you want to save those. So burning that early one you never like to see. Down 15.
Well, and two, it's just I don't think they'll do it, but you're sitting here about the 35-yard line. It's a 4th and 6. You were going to punt. Is there any thought that you run a fake here early on? I don't know. You just never know.
When you see a timeout there, it makes you wonder. But also, I mean, they're going to come out of this timeout ready, right?
Now, I was going to say they'd be ready for that too as well. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But an opportunity now that the Marysville defense is going to have to step up after this punt. But first things first, cover the punt too as well.
Alex Shaley, high snap, punts it downfield, lands at the Abilene 40 with a forward bounce. Going to go down to the Abilene 31 where they'll take over 1st and 10.
We're going to take a timeout. You keep it right here, though, too, as Abilene's going to start possession out.
We'll keep it right here because no dead clock on punts.
There you go.
Yeah. So
I'm used to calling 8-man games last year, so it's an 11-man game, so I got to get used to this.
I was going to say, what are you, a college guy now? They punt the ball and you're going to take a timeout? I mean, I didn't see the media timeout guy go.
I'm a media guy, so I guess I'm just used to seeing those. Yeah. Anyway, Brian Crott with me here today, Max Vlasic, of course, on this first call of the game. It's been an absolute joy. Before I forget, Brian, I want to thank, too, our boosters that make this possible throughout the season, too, as well. Absolutely. So, thank you to you guys for letting us do this fun and have some laughs on air.
Absolutely. First down play for Abilene is a run up the middle. A new guy. Who is this? 29, is that what I saw?
I believe so.
Keener.
Keener comes up with, we're going to give him a gain of nothing on that one, but a good tackle there from the Marysville sideline. Dakota Slupionic, we've called his name a lot offensively, but in that middle linebacker position has been laying some hits here so far tonight.
Absolutely. Second and long for Abilene. Man in motion. Digging a little deeper in their playbook. Quick pass to the man in motion. First tackle's missed. Second tackle brings him down. He's going to get a decent amount of yards, but not enough for a first down. He's going to split the chains in half. Gain of 5 to go.
5-yard pickup there for Funkston, as once again a simple wide receiver screen. It's a pretty simple numbers game we talked about. Marysville only had 2 defenders for 3 receivers on that left side, so throw it out there quick and let your yak guys pick up those yards after catch.
That's exactly right. 3rd and 5 now. Marysville desperately needs a big stop right here. This drive cannot end in points for Marysville or for Abilene. Marysville needs to get the stop. Here's play action, rolls out, throws the ball deep downfield. He falls. I think it's just incidental contact. Yeah, he rolled his ankle.
Yeah. 2 defenders there for Marysville. Otot was coming over the top, as well as Lawrence there on that cornerback position. It looks like just a little bit of a cramp here, actually. So we'll probably keep it right here. I won't take my immediate timeout on the injury if that's okay with you.
No, that's I don't see the guy with the vest. I will tell you, you'll see this a lot in the hot games early in the year, is cramps, especially as we get closer to that fourth quarter. I remember back to my playing days that our whole team was going down in that fourth quarter on the road at Wamego. It was a 100-degree day, similar to the weeks we've had lately. We all started dropping. They start giving us those rehydros on. So
little pickle juice in
there you go.
Do work well as well.
So you'll see that going around a little more. Hopefully Marysville can dodge the muscle cramp.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then you talked about it coming out of halftime with this AstroTurf here in Marysville. There's still a lot of heat on that coming up. Those players you kind of get a break at halftime, your body relaxes, and then you've got to get back to it very quickly. And on that one, running down the middle of the field, Weston Rock is the one cramped up. And the big wide receiver for Abilene, 6'1", 175, already here with 70 receiving yards for his name in this contest. Looks like he's going to be all right. Just talked about it, just a cramp on that one. But on that play, a good job by the Marysville defense. And even if he kept his feet, he had 2 defenders right on his hip pocket that entire time. So stopping those shots and stopping those big plays has been the key, and it looks like Marysville escaped one there.
Latta here in the booth says number 1, Weston Rock, was the guy that was down. He tore his ACL, I guess, last year. So they were maybe...
Got to keep an eye out on that.
A little caution there. But good news for Marysville, 4th and 5, so it's a punting situation. Stockton Timbrook punts it downfield. Short punt. Does not go very far. It's going to stay in bounds, but it's going to go to the Marysville 35-yard line, where the Bulldogs will take over 1st and 10. Make Max keep it right here as Marysville trades like maybe 2 or 3 guys out. Offense, defense.
We'll keep it right here and remind everyone, too, you can catch Coach's Corner shows every Friday at about 5:20, 5:25 after sports, as I talk with head coach Tony Trimble about not only that contest, but what's going on during the week. And, of course, if you want to catch any of the other area teams Monday through Friday, that show is going on.
1st and 10, Marysville. Will Otot under center, gets the snap, hands it off to Slupionic up the middle, dives forward for a few yards. 2nd and 7 coming up.
About a 3-yard gain there for Slupionic. I haven't mentioned it and forgot to mention it in the first quarter, but we talked about how Marysville is very deliberate with their plays, and they like to use a lot of clock. Well, boy, that first quarter seemed to go by extremely fast, and you could tell when Abilene got the ball, those stops in time, it's just a different style that they're playing with against each other. It's kind of like watching thunder and lightning there on the field. It's kind of fun.
Exactly right. You have the 10-minute offense and the 30-second offense. Here's your second down play. Will Otot hands it up the middle. Hard to tell where the ball carrier is in that giant pile, but the officials move way forward for a gain of 4.
We're going to give another 4-yard run there to Slupionic. Then the offensive line falling forward, too. Mentioned it a few times throughout here about how they have looked to be a bright spot here tonight from my eyes anyway. But part of being able to get Slupionic 3 or 4 yards at a time or getting those big offensive linemen to drive off and push their guys back. And they've been doing a good job so far here tonight against this Abilene front that does return 4 starters off of last year's squad. Short 3rd and 4 now.
Here's your snap. Quarterback still has it. Will makes a couple guys miss. Gets into the second level. Past midfield to the 45. Just dances his way for a bunch of yards. Max is going to count it out.
We're going to give him 16 yards on that rush. Already Otot up to 97 yards rushing in this contest. 16 rushes to his name, but those 2 fumbles, though, on those quarterback keepers down in the goal line, I don't want to say have hindered this night so far, but you look back on those 2 drives, setting now Marysville trailing 21-6. Could be some big points for the Bulldogs.
Absolutely, yeah. That's 2 touchdowns. You know, Marysville holds possession and caps it off. But either way, you got to rebound. Abilene's had some turnovers of their own. So 1st and 10 Marysville in Abilene territory. Will Otot still has it. He's not going to get much here. Maybe a yard.
Give him a yard or 2 on that one. Again, another kind of naked bootleg keeper, we like to call it, when the quarterback runs out without a wide receiver option to pitch it there, too, as well. And we've already seen 3 or 4 times the backs go I don't want to even say the wrong way, but a different way than I guess Otot was expecting. So it'll be an interesting film session tomorrow morning once the coaches are able to look down and see what plays were called and see where everyone's going in their position. But we brought it up earlier. A lot of guys that are getting first-year experience at the varsity level, just learning how sometimes to play football.
2nd and long, Marysville.
Move, ball's on the ground. Picked it up, though.
Going to fall forward for a few yards. Is that Will?
That was Will. 4.
Big pile of bodies. Yeah, it is Will Otot getting up last. I think he got... 4
or 5 on that one, and as he drew away from under center, kind of that ball slipped out, so he just kind of had to pick it up and go with it a little bit too as well. But here we are again for the Bulldogs in a medium 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6-ish, I think is what they're going to call it. 1 minute left to play here in the 3rd quarter, and a big 3rd down around midfield.
3rd and a short 5. Spicer in motion. Oh, the quarterback follows the fullback up the middle. He's going to get a 1st down. Big run. That play confuses me every time, Max. It looks like it's almost blown, but it is designed. Early in the game, I said, I don't think they practiced that. Shoot, they've ran it 14 times now. Yeah, they practiced it.
I think they have, and it's working out, too, as well, because they're crashing so hard on Slupionic when he comes down the middle that if you're an athletic quarterback, why not follow your big blocker right down the hole?
This will be our last play of the 3rd quarter. Marysville down 21-6. Abilene on top, but Marysville driving. Here's your snap. We're going to go nowhere is Slupionic. That's going to take us to the end of the 1st quarter. 4th quarter coming up right after a quick break.
Napa know-how.
Locally owned, locally operated, your Napa Parts store in Marysville offers Napa parts and accessories, plus the tools, equipment, and supplies you need to get every job done right the first time. The right tools at the right price, plus Napa know-how. From your locally owned and locally operated Napa Parts store in Marysville, Enan's Automotive.
the know-how.
Feeling stuck in a state of compensation stagnation? Another year, no raise? Then let State Farm agent John Bannister help you get to a better state with a discount double check that can stretch your hard-earned dollars a little further. Discounts that could add up to 40% and put a few hundred extra dollars in your pocket. Discounts vary from state to state. See John Bannister, State Farm agent, 1022 Broadway, Marysville.
When you rollers send for Schroller.
For complete body repair, see Jeff at Schroller Collision Center. A family business for several generations, let Jeff and his quality crew help you with your auto needs. Schroller Collision Center, 701 Carolina, 562-3546.
Welcome back to Homer Hanson Stadium, Landau Family Sports Complex here in Marysville, Kansas. You've got Brian Trott and Max Blaski bringing you some Friday Night Lights Marysville Bulldog football action. Marysville Bulldogs are down. They've scored 6, and it was the first touchdown of the game in the first quarter. However, Abilene scored 21, and that was in the second and third quarters. I said the end of the first quarter. I meant the end of the first quarter of the second half.
There you go.
Some people call that the third quarter. I call it the first quarter of the second half.
It's all how you interpret it, right? That's all how it goes. See? That's very true.
At least I started now. So, yeah.
Got a score update for you here real quick. Clay Center is trailing Wamego 12-7 in their first contest of the night. That high-powered Wamego offense only held to 12 points through the first 3 quarters. Clay Center defense, something to be reckoned with going on through the year. And, of course, going on over on our sister station, KU Jayhawks are starting off their football season here on a Friday night. They are playing Missouri State. They're in Lawrence. Jayhawks are up 17-10, trailed that one early 7-10, but the defense has held strong all the way going into half. Of course, if you want more scores and highlights, keep it tuned after the game as the the Farm Bureau Financial Scoreboard show will be playing twice each hour during the 10 and 11 o'clock hours on KNDY. We'll have all the area scores and updates as well as a live recap from this game going on right now. Heading into the third quarter, Bulldogs trail this one 21-6. They led early on 6-0, but have given up 21 unanswered points on what's turned out to be a fairly pleasant night here in Marysville after that sun went down and we stopped sweating up here in the booth.
I don't know about you. I'm still sweating. I don't know if the cameras have turned us, but I'm shining. 2nd and 9. Quarterback still has it. It does Otot. He's going to get 2. 3rd and long coming up.
Running that option play again, Willow Tot with those 2 yards, now over 100 yards in this contest, 114 rushing for the quarterback junior for the Bulldogs. Of course, opportunity for a lot of kids here so far today to get some playing experience. Talked about it all year long and we'll continue to talk about it. Want to see this team grow and mature as the season goes on, talking to Coach Trimble.
Absolutely. We're going to see a lot of changes of this Marysville team. 3rd and long, here it is. Man in motion is Spicer. Option our way. Pitch to Spicer. There's your Spicer carry. Pass the 20 down to the 19 or 18. Really close to the first down, but I believe he's a yard short.
I believe he is going to be a yard short, but like we said, finally getting Blake Spicer into the action. That's only his 2nd rush of this contest. We're going to go ahead and give him we'll call it 7 yards on that one as the option man finally gets a pitch, I guess, thrown his way. Now a big 4th down here for the Bulldogs as they are inside the Wamego 20.
Man in motion. Oh, we had a jumper on defense. Marysville was just testing him. 9, 8 on the play clock. 6, 5. We've got Marysville hopefully not taking their 2nd timeout. Oh. No, timeout Abilene. Timeout Abilene. We're going to stay right here.
We talked about it right there, jumping at the line. That was that big nose tackle there for Abilene, setting up front. Devin Alvarez, who has been in some plays here and blown up a few of them here for the Cowboys, but he was gearing up, getting ready for that fullback dive. So I guess if you're in those coaching seats, are you looking to maybe get Spicer going again on the outside here?
Not with as little as he carried it so far. How do you go away from Dakota Slupianic right now? Mm-hmm. I mean, he's had a couple plays for 1 or 2 yards, but most of them are 3 or 4. and sometimes we think that they're only 1 or 2, and then they end up marking him 5 yards down the field. To me, it's either Dakota Slovianic or Will Otop following
him right up the hole. Well, and you talk about it, maybe not a lot of big yardage carriages, but already up to 13 carries for Slovianic, and that old adage of you don't want to tackle the big guys. Boy, he is 6 foot, 220 pounds, and just looking at him from down up here, that is a big boy to try and take down.
Absolutely. Like I said, my size fullback, right? Yeah, or 2 of me.
2, yeah.
Sure enough, it is Slovianic up the gut. And he's going to get plenty of yards. First down, Marysville.
Big offensive play there for the Bulldogs heading into the fourth quarter. If they're able to get a score here and cut this down to even a 1-score game, I assume we're probably going to go for 2. The momentum against this, Abilene squad that handed Marysville a loss last year and then finished off the season a respectable 4-5. Be a big win here for the Bulldogs tonight.
They had some tough opponents that they played last year in that 4A conference. Man in motion. It's going to be Slovianic, I believe, again. Last play, he got 5 yards. This time, only 2.
They give him 2 on that one, but continue to feed the man down low and run some of this clock out, too, as well. Although the Bulldogs' defense has done a good job, gave up that touchdown right out of halftime, but since then able to hold the Abilene offense at least within striking distance for this Marysville offense.
Absolutely. Well, of course, Marysville scored first. That helps.
Yeah.
That helps. But and Marysville had a stop on Abilene's first possession. Just some big plays later. But here we go. Marysville second down. Quarterback keeper Will fakes. Oh, I thought he was going to find the end zone, but instead he's going to get 7 yards up to the 5. It's going to be 3rd and 1 at the 5-yard line.
A heck of a fake there by Otot. Again, talked about it. Just that simple little jab step to the right has got that outside linebacker for Wamego coming up to the halfback. And that's not the first time that we've seen Otot with his shiftiness inside the line able to get away from some arm tackles and pick up some extra yardage.
As we said, 3rd and 1. Marysville takes every second off the play clock. I'm surprised they're still doing that, being that they're down two possessions in the fourth quarter. 9 minutes to go till the end of the game. Ball's loose, but Will gets it, and it's going to turn into a touchdown. Will kind of throws it to himself. Touchdown, Marysville. Bobbles the ball into the end zone.
It doesn't always have to be pretty, but as long as it ends up working out in the end, that's the most important part.
Sounds like, to me, you watch too much Nebraska football.
Not quite. We're not going to answer that one. We're not going to get into college discussion here.
Okay. Touchdown, Marysville. Marysville 12, Abilene 21. Marysville huddles up as if they're going to come up with a 2-point conversion play. And they do. Will Otot's going to go under center.
Trying to cut this one back down to 7 are the Bulldogs. Oh,
he got it. Will Otot gets in. 2-point conversion is good. Abilene 21, Marysville 14. We will be right back after a quick break.
Kickafer and Bussing, certified public accountants in Marysville and now in Seneca, are qualified and available to assist you with all of your income tax and accounting needs. Stop by and visit Ken Kickafer, Kent Bussing, or their staff of certified public accountants and paraprofessionals. For prompt and friendly service, contact Kickafer and Bussing at their 2 locations, 1100 Broadway in Marysville at 562-2100 or 508 Main Street in Seneca at 336-2400 to set up an appointment. Kickafer and Bussing, where quality begins.
You'll find no shortage of work to do in a New Holland Workmaster or Boomer compact tractor from KNDY. You'll also find big savings when you buy now. Get 0% financing for 72 months, plus no payments for 90 days, or choose cash back on these 24 to 55 horsepower compact and subcompact tractors. They're roomy, easy to operate, and deliver all the power you could ask for. Ask about one today at KNDY in Marysville. Offers end July 31st.
Max Blasky back with you here at Homer Hanson Stadium in Marysville as the Bulldogs were just able to put 8 points on the board, all thanks to Will Otot's 4-yard touchdown run and then a 2-yard conversion good by Otot again. And looking at that play, Brian, you talked about it, kind of threw it to himself. Honestly, another broken play.
Yeah, kind of bobbled it there. I don't know if it was from the snap itself or if he was trying to fake the handoff. I'm not sure on that. It was quite a ways away from us. But either way, Will Otot, Marysville touchdown. How many's he got now?
Got 2 touchdowns on the ground so far for Otot, both touchdowns for the Bulldogs. Now the defense needs to come up here strong. Still trailing 21-14, 9:15 left to play in this fourth quarter, but as high-powered as this Abilene offense is, we'll have to watch. Good tackle.
Stephen Lowry throws a dart down to the 8-yard line, but the first Bulldog makes the tackle.
Good open field tackle there. Believe that was Grant Hafley coming down on the kickoff team. Absolutely stopped the returner in his tracks, dead at the 25. Now this Marysville defense, as we've said it before, needing to find a way to get another stop here and give this offense back, because if we look at it, 9 minutes, Abilene takes about 3 of that. That's not leaving Marysville a lot of time by the way they run their offense.
That's exactly right. Marysville likes to take 10 minutes per possession. That's not going to work. We had a flag somewhere. I didn't even see. Of course, there's a few things in nice holding, says Latta.
Holding is going to be the call on Abilene, so talk about an opportunity now for the defense. That's going to back the Bulldogs all the way up to their own 12-yard line with their rear ends against their own end zone.
9 minutes to go in the game. Abilene with the ball, up a touchdown. There's your snap. Quick pass. Surprise, surprise. Oh, Marysville defender misses. Was in his face. Ball comes out late. I think Abilene's back on top of it.
I think Abilene held on to it. They did hold on to it, yes.
Jacob Meyer made a great cut on the ball. He just forgot to tackle the guy. Because of the fumble, he had gained way more than enough yards for a first down, but he fumbles it back a yard shy. 2nd and 1 now. Stockton Timbrook in shotgun. 3 guys out wide. Hands it off up the middle. It's wide open up the gut. He's going to bounce to the outside to the 40, to the 50. He's still on his feet, making Marysville players miss. He's super fast. He's going to get all the way into the end zone. Call it a 78-yard touchdown run by Zachary Miller to put Abilene back on top by 2 touchdowns.
Marysville had him dead to rights at the line of scrimmage, 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, and then had a safety come over, knock him out about midfield. But I tell you what, Zach Miller is a heck of a runner. All 5'9", 185 pounds of him. I bet that's all in his thighs, because there was some power and some meanness behind that run right there.
Yep, so Marysville pulls within a touchdown, and Abilene in, 3 or 4 plays goes the distance. We talked about it earlier, the big plays. Marysville has got to prevent the big plays. Extra point pending from Stockton Timbrook. Ball's down, kick is up. It is good.
Extra point is good.
Abilene 28, Marysville 14.
8:43 left here in this contest. Was just talking about how quick Abilene can get a touchdown down without anything. How about this, Brian? 27 seconds it took them from Marysville's last touchdown to an Abilene just scored. 27 seconds is all it took this Abilene offense to march. What was it? 78 yards in one play?
In one play, but even more than that in the drive, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Heck of a run there by Zach Miller as he opens this one back up for the Cowboys, 28-14. Now with about 8 minutes, 8:45 left to go here in this contest, Marysville once again finds themselves hanging behind the sticks in this one, needing to find a way to pull within another touchdown for an offense tonight that we talked about it. Will take its time to get where it needs to.
Yeah, Marysville needs a quick strike. They got to score. They got to score now to stay in this game. Abilene's going to get the ball back. Got to get a quick stop. Got to get a second quick score. That's all. That's all you have to do. Marysville's got 2 guys back. Grant Hafley, Keegan Waters. Both have been pretty effective in the return game, I feel.
Extra effective, I think Marysville's kick return team has been so far here tonight. A lot of these kicks are going inside the 10, if not right to the goal line, and continually getting outside the 20-yard line. So the special teams for Marysville so far here tonight, I think, has been fairly even. One thing I did want to point out, too, as well, we had that hold on the kickoff. That was only the second penalty of the game.
I wondered. There hasn't been a lot, has there?
How many times have you watched the very first high school football game and only seen 2 penalties so far in a contest? A clean game both ways.
Yeah, never.
Clean game both ways.
Here's your kickoff. Not as deep as they have been. Waters picks it up off the turf at the 15-yard line. He's at 25. Through the middle at the 33-yard line where Marysville will take over first down. Once again, in need of a quick score.
Another explosive return there for Keegan Waters. Looking at a few stats here just real quick, starting on that Abilene side. For passing, Timbrook, of course, has been the key here so far today. 133 yards, 1 touchdown, only 3 incompletions so far for Timbrook. But on the ground, that 78-yard run by Zach Miller, unofficially 133 yards already on the ground for the running back from Abilene. But on the other side, though, Will Otot, 125 yards himself unofficially on the ground. So both run games are working here in this one. It's just going to see who has the last lap.
Oh, ball's on the ground. Fortunately, Will was tackled right back into it. Loss of 4 on first down.
Tried to hit that second option again, and that's about the second, or I want to say only second or third time I've seen an Abilene defender behind the Marysville line of scrimmage, too.
I agree. Marysville has done a great job in the trenches tonight. I would say both directions, but not there.
No, not there. Not there. It can't be 100% all the time, but an opportunity now here for Marysville to try and get something on track after the big 4-yard loss.
Yeah, second and long. Will Otot under center, man in motion. Dive up the middle is Slupianic. He's going to get it back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard more.
And give him a 5-yard gain on that one, getting back the 4 yards that got lost plus an extra one. But a second effort there by Slupianic as he was stopped right at the line of scrimmage but kept those legs churning, able to pick up one. But here we are now, a long 3rd and 9 for a Marysville team on their side of the field. 7:30 left to play here in this contest. I've got to say, this is probably 4-down territory now for the Bulldogs.
Oh, absolutely. Not enough time for Marysville to punt this ball away and then touch the ball enough to win the game. So get half of it here. Triple option. Otot still has it. He dances forward. He's only going to get 3, maybe 4.
Give Otot 4 on that run back.
So 4th and 5. As Max said, 4-down territory. Marysville's going to take a timeout to think about it. Doing all right on spots, Max?
Oh, we'll just keep it right here with this exciting finish. Why take it away from what kind of fun we could be talking about here on a Friday night?
That's right. So Marysville, as we said, scored first. Since then, Abilene went 21 unanswered. Then Marysville scored, then Abilene scored. It took 26 seconds, Max said, on Abilene's last possession to score on a 78-yard run.
If my math has been correct, Abilene has used the clock here to their advantage. Of course, talked about a little bit in the opener, the contrasting styles that were going to be coming into this contest. Marysville, with their very run-heavy offense, obviously shown it so far here tonight. Otot has only attempted 2 passes, where on the other side of the field, Stockton Tinbrook has had 13 pass attempts for 133 yards and already 1 touchdown there in that first half. But we keep going back to it. A younger Marysville team with a lot of new players, an Abilene team that last year with their win against Marysville snapped a 25-game losing streak before that, went on to finish the season. Oh, I had it right here. I believe it was 4-5, finished that season 4-5.
Did Abilene, yep.
Yep, and did Abilene. And then they returned 9 players from that team. So I think holding their own in this contest, the Bulldogs have been doing that exceptionally well.
Absolutely, absolutely. It just, it stings a little bit when you take that first lead, you get the stop. So I know Marysville's feeling this right now. But really all they're focused on is this 4th and 5 play right now.
One thing on the mind, 4th and 5. Again, Marysville will be in the single I formation. That's going to be Slupionic right behind quarterback.
Gets to the second man through, who's on reverse. Is Hafley. He's going to be tackled after only a 2-yard gain. Hafley does not go down easy. But turnover on downs. Abilene takes over in Marysville territory. 6:47 to go. Marysville down 28-14.
It was a good play design. All the motion was going to the left. They hit Hafley kind of on a jet sweep action, going back to the right. I couldn't catch a number from that Abilene linebacker, but he stayed in his position on that side of the field. Hafley just couldn't get away from him.
Yep. And Hafley, I thought he was gobbled up in the backfield, but did a good job bouncing off a couple guys, making 2 yards out of it. Unfortunately, he needed 5. So Marysville in need of a turnover in a bad way. Stockton Timbrook gets the ball, hands to the guy in motion. Runs forward for 7 or 8. Tackled by the Bulldogs. It's going to keep the clock rolling. He's given 8. Oh, cow, 2nd and 2.
Tegan Firston's going to pick up his first carry there of the night. Yeah, an 8-yard game on that one, on kind of an end around. We talk about the offensive line for Marysville. I want to see this defensive line get after him. We haven't seen a sack either way, a few tackles for losses. But if Abilene's going to just sit here and now be content to run this clock, boys up front need to get after it.
Yep.
There they go.
There it is, on cue. What else do they need to do, Max?
They need to get a turnover. Let's see if they can do that. No,
tackle for loss.
Garrett Haverkamp coming up big there from his defensive lineman position, filling that hole right in the middle. And just like that, here we are, 3rd and 3 now with an opportunity to get the ball back to the offense.
I saw Schaefer in the backfield also. Always a good sign on a run play. 3rd and short for Abilene. For the first time, they're actually taking their time.
Play clock into or underneath 10 seconds now.
There's your snap. Quick pitch, our direction to Zachary Miller. He gets the edge. That's going to, by getting the edge, it's going to give him enough yards for a first down. He also stays inbounds. They'll stop the clock to reset the chains and then start it again. First down, Abilene. 5:15 to go. Abilene up 2 touchdowns over your Bulldogs.
8-yard pickup there by Miller, as the big man has been rumbling hard already with 150 yards rushing on the ground for him in this contest. Of course, the big 78-yard touchdown earlier on in the quarter really helps that out. The Bulldogs, like just mentioned, time dwindling down, need to find a way to get a stop.
Abilene struggling to go slow. You can see it just
a little confusion there on that one.
Quick pass away. Marysville was dropped back. Will Otot looking for it. The 3rd penalty flag of the game. Hopefully is a hold. Based on the offensive lineman in the arms saying, "What did I do?" It's a hold.
You can always tell, especially in high school. If a kid doesn't think he did it, he for sure did it. He for sure did it. I think we were both that way, too.
Gavin Runyon, you've called his name before.
Yeah.
He's the guilty party.
The guilty party on that one, and that's going to set Abilene back here a good 10 yards on what was going to be a first down, too. But once again, just a quick wide receiver screen out to the shifty Rock. Able to pick up a first down, but nonetheless after that holding.
1st and 20 coming up. So I didn't get to see that play finish out. We need to do something about this giant log here. I didn't get to see it end.
Sometimes the eyesight for us radio people aren't always the best, but we're making it work here tonight.
That's right. 1st and a country mile. There's your snap. It's low. He picks it up off the ground. Passes ahead of the receiver. Incomplete.
Trying for Funkston there already with 5 receptions and a touchdown to his name on the quick little 5-yard out route, but just through his hands. So brings up another 2nd down and long here for this Abilene offense, as the clock will stop. Maybe the one good thing that happened on that play now for the Bulldogs, clock does stop at 4:46 left to go in the contest.
As Abilene's coach, you know Timbrook has hardly had any incompletions, so you're not afraid to throw a pass. Well, that's one situation where it actually backfired. And based on the offensive lineman's stance on the 2nd and long, it's going to be another pass play. Marysville can break this up. This clock's not going to move. It is pressure. Pass up the gut. Ball is it's intercepted. Intercepted.
That's going to be picked on the far side.
First down, Marysville. What'd you say we needed?
We needed a turnover.
What do we need now?
We need a score on this one. We need a score on this one. Coming up with that big interception there, Eli Sologic, it looks like, coming up from his defensive back possession. Absolutely laid the boom there on Weston Rock as Rock tried to fumble the ball and tried to catch it on his back. But a turnover Bulldogs here as they get a big, big turnover.
And Eli is now, he's got a left hamstring that's cramping up. So we've talked about that becoming a factor. So Eli's over here on the sideline nursing a cramping hamstring. 1st and 10, Marysville. Pass play. Will's 0 for 2. Lobs it up for Hafley. Completion this time and out of bounds up to the 39-yard line. 14-yard gain, Marysville. Chains are moving.
I don't know if you heard me make a little noise there. I didn't think that ball was going to get to Hafley as Will Otot threw it from the right hash all the way to the left sideline, just dropped it right in the breadbasket for Hafley, and that's going to be the first completion of the night for Otot. We're going to give him 13 yards on that one.
Will has a really good touch, especially to Hafley. Their timing has been well worked out, but he just barely lobs that sucker up, and Hafley runs under it. That's the third time it's been successful, just unfortunately the first time it's been completed. Here's a run up the middle to Slupianic. I say successful because the ball did land right in Hafley's lap on the first two. Just maybe knocked out by a defender or just not quite caught by Hafley the first 2 times. That time it was. 2nd and 5 now. Clock is moving. Marysville's got to do something uncharacteristic, and that's move fast.
Move fast, trailing by 2 scores here with 4 minutes left to go in the game. Everyone's already looking at their armbands, taking a lot of time here.
Here's your 2nd down play. Spicer in motion. It's the 4th pass of the game. Will's going to run. He's got some room, and he's going to get maybe close to 10 yards, 8 yards.
I think they're going to give him 8 or 9 yards there on that QB scramble, and a good run by Otot as he rolled out to his right, couldn't find a receiver, decided to just tuck it and run, and it picked up positive yardage.
1st down, Marysville in Abilene territory. Clock has stopped because Will went out of bounds. Dogs down 2 touchdowns. Need a quick score. Here is your 1st and 10 play. Marysville now allowed to take a little more time, and they'll use every second on their play clock. Dive up the middle to Slupianic.
Going to give him a yard on that one as the Abilene defense right in the middle, staying strong on that one. Actually going to give him 2 is that line judge. But here we are at midfield, 3:35 still left to go. You're still down 2 scores. Taking still a lot of time off this clock.
Yeah, definitely got to have that second play called in the huddle.
Need a little more urgency here.
Here we go. So Will's going to get hit from both angles. Sack, loss of 5 or 6.
Nose tackle came right over the center. Defensive tackle came right over the other side, too, as well. That's going to be a sack, first sack for Abilene.
Well, Abilene's going to be generous and help Marysville stop the clock here as cramping is spreading.
And then to keep it right here, too, as it looks like another Abilene Cowboy down at midfield with a cramp. Talked about it with the high temperatures here early on in the season. First contest for both ball teams, so getting used to that heat and getting used to that running is always a challenge, I guess, in that first contest. You can probably speak a little bit more about that from experience back in your day.
It's just these kids have been practicing in this immense heat. You get dehydrated. It's hard to catch up. I remember having coaches, Bud Young, who's now the athletic director at Clay Center, so we'll see him later this year. He used to stand at water fountains, and as football players would walk by, he would force them to take a drink all throughout the day. Football players, I heard some talk radio about football. These football players don't realize they need to be hydrating all day long. It needs to start in the morning. But what happens is they'll get to 3 or 4 in the afternoon and they'll realize, shoot, I'm supposed to have 80 ounces of water. And they'll try to do it from 3 to 5, and you just can't catch your body up. So they're all dehydrated. They're all going to cramp up. Luckily, these schools do have things, Gatorade and rehydration drinks that they can use to help. But with as hard as they're working, I mean, cramps are just going to be part of it.
It's part of the contest, too, as well. And, of course, looking at that Marysville sideline, thankfully not a lot so far here tonight, but I know talking to Coach Trimble throughout the week or getting an opportunity to talk to him on the pregame show, he said depth was going to be one of those things this year, not only with the inexperience on the team, but a depth, too, as well. So I think very lucky so far here in this first contest to not see very many Bulldogs go down with cramps or anything of that matter. Yeah, exactly. We're knocking on wood up here at the sound booth as we do that. But yet still here now, I guess, as you look at it from the game standpoint, 3:04 left to play here, fourth quarter. Marysville trailing in this one 28-14. Ball's just on their side of the 50-yard line as Will Otot just took a 2-yard sack. So if you're looking at it here, need to go fast, need to get something quick, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. Marysville likes to run the option on these third and very long, but I really would think this has got to go through the air. It is the option. Quarterback,
keep it. He's speed.
He had the edge. Oh, he cuts it up, but enough for a 14-yard play and a first down. Marysville very quickly has got to get set up. The clock will stop momentarily at 2:56 for them to reset the chains.
Oton did a good job there. He didn't follow his fullback on that one, but pulled it and bounced it to the outside and just shifty enough to get away from that corner setting on that outside. But talked about it. Should have had a second play going already, still standing in the huddle. Marysville now finally gets set.
Here's your first down play at 2:37. Dive up the middle. It's Slupianic still on his feet. He surprises us a lot of these runs. We keep thinking, he's down 1 or 2 yards. I kept looking for where that ball would be down, and then he squirts out 8 yards ahead.
You always look to see where that pile is you like to talk about, and he's one of those players, it's always ahead of the pile where he is moving it himself.
Yep. Second and short. Give to the second guy through. I didn't catch the number on it, but it's first down Marysville. Once again, stopping the clock for them to reset the chains.
Blake Spicer there getting his third rush of the night. We're going to give him a pickup of 3-2 is here, but just rolled under 2 minutes left to play here in this contest. Time getting short, and Marysville still hasn't found the end zone.
First and 10 Bulldogs. Dive up the middle. Marysville has to stick with the dive. It's their play. Unfortunately, it's just eating a lot of clock. 3-yard gain for Slupianic, 2nd and 7. Marysville trying to get up quickly, but 20 seconds has come off the clock.
2 timeouts left still, too.
Will shakes the guy in the backfield, gets the edge, 20-15, gets out of bounds at the 15-yard line, turns a blown play, tackle for loss, into a first down.
I didn't think he was going to get out of that one. I'm going to be absolutely honest. They had him dead to rights 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but the shiftiness of Otot was able to just get away from that defender, and then the quickness and wherewithal, too. Let's get out of bounds and let's preserve some time.
Love what we've seen from Will Otot. If we could take away anything, it'd be the 2 turnovers he's had. Otherwise, I feel he's managed things pretty well. He's handled the ball well he's ran the ball well as a running quarterback. Couple decent passes. First and 10, triple option up the gut, and it was jammed close.
And it's going to be a nothing pickup on that one, as I believe Tony Trimble is going to take his first time out of this contest.
Second. Remember,
second.
They took that one early, and I said this is going to come back to haunt them.
That's right. Yeah, you touched on it there just a little bit with Oton and his running ability, and I think a good thing to look forward to. I looked down at my play sheet here already with 26 carries to his name, so a lot of running there for that young junior. But I think moving forward, him trusting his offense and getting those pitches out to the outside that he was wanting to in that first half, but then probably got a little, don't want to say it's scared, but maybe a little reserved with those 2 fumbles.
Sure. 2 fumbles in one game will definitely affect the way you handle the ball moving forward. Some for the good. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you're going to protect the rock and not pitch in dangerous situations. But we need Will to be a little daring, I should say. Since we're not throwing the ball down the field a lot, we're not risking interceptions as much, which Abilene's going to see a lot more interceptions. So Marysville may turn the ball over on the fumble a couple times. It's just part of running that triple option. I think you said that earlier. So here's your 2nd and 9 play. Dive up the middle. I see lineman downfield. Unfortunately, the running back was not with him. 5-yard gain, though. 3rd and 4.
Slupionic now with an unofficial 100 yards even on the ground in this contest. But here we are again, too, looking at another play clock. Seconds tipping off as we go under 1 minute.
Always good to see a fullback at 100 yards. It's a pass. Otot has to make a defender miss. He does not. Gets tackled in the backfield. Clock's going to keep moving. 43, 42. Bulldogs down 2 touchdowns. Obviously going to run out of time in this contest, hoping to end this drive in a touchdown. 4th and 9, and they got to be thinking end zone.
Landon Taplin coming up from his linebacker position, coming right up the middle, getting Otot for the 4-yard loss on this one. Last chance for Romance for the offense.
Going to be a pass.
Good pickup.
Blake Spicer gets a good block in the backfield. Will Otot's just going to run it out of bounds. And that's going to be the ball game. The clock's going to say 11.7 seconds, and Abilene will have to do victory formation, but that is going to be it.
Victory formation now for the Cowboys as Otot runs out of bounds on that last play here for the Marysville offense. So looking like Marysville falling in this one, 28-14 for the first contest of the season. But a lot of positives to take away here from this contest. I know we've talked about Will Otot a lot in that offensive line, but we talked a little later on, too, about his passing ability, and I really think that that's going to be something that needs to develop and for this offense to really take form as Coach Trimble wants it.
There it was. Abilene kneels the ball. Ball game ends. Marysville 14, Abilene 28. Let's take a quick break to gather our thoughts. We'll be right back with you, Bulldogs.
Sunflower Community Credit Union recognizes that members' health, both personal and financial, is top priority. In order to make your banking a completely safe experience, they're proud to now offer drive-in convenience, Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5:30, Saturday, 8:30 till noon. Lending can be done remotely as well. Contact their friendly loan officers at 562-3741. New members always welcome. Call, go online, or drop by Sunflower Community Credit Union in Marysville for more details. Caring about your personal and financial health, Sunflower Community Credit Union.
When you start a plumbing or electrical project, make sure that you have what you need to get the job done. If you don't have everything you need, Hometown Lumber in Marysville and Axtell Lumber can help. Stocking a full line of electrical wiring, switches, boxes, and everything to the fixtures and even light bulbs. For that plumbing task, there's pipes, connectors and joints, faucets, toilets, and accessories. From an installation or remodel to a simple repair, get the plumbing and electrical supplies you need at one stop at Hometown Lumber in Marysville and Axtell Lumber.
Hop in, let's go to Honeyman Ford in Seneca, the best place to be.
Skip the drive. Come see us right here in Marysville, Kansas. At Honeyman Auto Sales and Service, you'll find the same honest sales experience backed by the same reliable service. With the same goals in mind, our Marysville location is sure to provide you with a satisfying vehicle experience. Find us on Facebook or stop in at 1122 Pony Express Highway today.
Have you driven a Honeyman Ford lately?
Max Blasky back with you here in Marysville as the Bulldogs fall in their first contest, 28-14 to the Abilene Cowboys on this September 1st. Brian, I'm going to go ahead and pass it to you before we look at the stats, but as you look at this game overall, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, Marysville graduated a lot of seniors. We were just talking about that here in the booth. This is a new team. This is whatever last year's team identity was. It's not this year's team, and sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that's tough to recover from. In this team's case, they're in good shape. They've got some things to figure out. Will is the right guy to captain the ship, and the teammates around him are excellent. But really, I keep talking about Will. I should stop bragging on Will because that offensive and / defensive line, they're mostly the same guys, are phenomenal. And they're the ones winning those battles in the trenches. If Marysville's going to win games this year, it's going to be on the backs of those guys. So what do I think? Obviously, Marysville knows what they need to work on now. Eliminate those big plays. Don't turn over the ball. But otherwise, they're able to move the ball.
I think they are, too, as well. We talked about it earlier, and it's going to be a progression with this team. A younger team is going to have to learn how to play together and learn how to play Coach Trimble's offense, too, as well, because this is a difficult offense to get a hold of. But I think once it gets there, the opportunity is going to be there to have some possibilities. Looking at how this game scored out, of course, Marysville falling in this one 28-14, but Marysville did start off the contest with a 5-yard touchdown run by Will Otot. It was his only first touchdown run of the contest in the first quarter. Extra point was no good as Marysville jumped out to the 6-0 lead. Abilene answered back with a touchdown with 8:41 left in the quarter as Timbrook found a streaking Brax Fisher down the middle, in the corner of the end zone for a touchdown, tying it up at 6, and then Timbrook knocked back the extra point, giving Abilene the 7-6 lead. Moments later in the second quarter, about 7 minutes later, a 5-yard touchdown run by Zach Miller gave Abilene the 14-6 lead heading into half. Then coming out of half, Abilene took the opening possession down for a touchdown, extended their lead up to 21-6. But Marysville answered back just 1 minute later with a 4-yard touchdown run by Will Otot. Otot put in the 2-point conversion, brought us to 14-21. But then exactly 27 seconds later, a 78-yard touchdown run by Zach Miller put the Abilene Cowboys away for good. Extra point was good on that one. 28-14 was that score. Looking at some stats here from the contest, too. First, for the Cowboys of Abilene, Stompton Timbrook finishes the game 13 for 16 for 133 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Receiving that touchdown was Tegan Furston, who had 5 receptions for 50 yards. Weston Rock ended with 5 receptions for 58 yards, while Brax Fisher ended the night with 103 yards on 6 receptions. Rushing for the Cowboys, Zach Miller led the way with 12 rushes for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns, including that long 78-yard touchdown pass. For the Marysville Bulldogs, Will Otot had 3 passes. One of those was complete for 13 yards to Grant Hafley. Other than that, it was all on the ground. Otot ran the ball 27 times for 153 yards, those 2 touchdowns and 2 fumbles in the second quarter, while Dakota Slupionic picked up 21 rushes and 100 yards even unofficially. Grant Hafley also pitched in 44 yards on the ground, while Blake Spicer pitched in 13 as well. Again, Bulldogs fall in this one 28-14 to the Abilene Cowboys. We're going to take one more timeout, look at what's coming up on our schedule here on our KNDY sister stations, and see what the schedule looks like for the Bulldogs next week. Again, Marysville falls to Abilene 28-14. We'll be right back.
We don't have to tell that harvest season is here. And while you're working the fields, Kramer Oil is on the road for you. Kramer Oil's commercial fuel delivery brings premium fuel right to your farm, making sure your machinery never skips a beat. Fast, reliable, and always on time. Because during harvest season, every second counts. Keep your farm running smooth with the name that's been there through it all. Kramer Oil. Our family serving yours for generations.
Just like our area athletes work each day in practice to perform at their best in the big game, the staff at Bruna Implement Company, your local Case IH dealer, work daily to provide the best parts and service experience when you need it most. Bruna Implement Company has been family-owned for 3 generations. We know what it takes to be successful as your area Case IH dealer. For the best in farming equipment with the service to back it, there is only one. Bruna Implement Company, since 1947.
Anyone can sell you soybean seed. Channel Seedsman place product to perform. With Channel Extend Flex soybeans and Channel Roundup Ready 2 Extend soybeans, you'll get the superior weed control you want and the high yield potential you need. Make the most of next season with the Roundup Ready Extend crop system and expert recommendations from Channel Seedsman. Ask a seedsman in your area for recommendations for your fields. Check with your state pesticide regulatory agency for specific restrictions in your state. Always read and follow pesticide label directions.
With United Bank and Trust online banking, you have access to your hometown bank 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year at ubankonline.com. You can view account balances, access statements, and transfer money between your UBT accounts. You can also view account activity, pay bills, and even make loan payments without being limited by banking hours. Simply visit ubankonline.com to learn more. Online banking with United Bank and Trust. It's banking for your way of life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Back here at Marysville High School, Max Blasky along with Brian Crott here as Marysville starts off their season 0-1. Abilene, of course, winning this one 28-14, pulling away. Abilene starts off 1-0. Well, coming up tomorrow right here on AM 1570, FM 94.1, the K-State Wildcats will kick off their season as their kickoff's going to be at 6 p.m., playing pregame at 4 p.m. Who do they play again, Brian? I can't remember.
It's one of those Missouri State.
One of those.
Not Missouri State, because that's who KU's playing
right now. One of the other ones, too.
Yeah, one of those other ones.
An opportunity for the Big 12, the reigning Big 12 champions, to get back on the field. I know a lot of excitement down in Manhattan. Of course, talking about those Jayhawks, they're playing right now over on our sister station, FM 95.5, midway through the contest. I believe through the second half on that one, Jayhawks are on. Next game for us here will be down in Wamego. Jason Brinegar and Bruce Dierking will have that call. That game will be at 7 o'clock. Pregame begins, of course, at 6:45. If you're in town this weekend, the Marysville Invitational Cross Country Meet is going on here, so a chance to get out and support your Bulldogs here at home, as well as a varsity volleyball scrimmage next Tuesday versus Concordia. So a lot of action getting underway here in the fall season, as well as regional sports getting underway next Friday, as I will be down in Frankfort calling the Wildcats versus the Washington Tigers in Frankfort's homecoming game, their first home game of the season. So tune to KNDY 95.5 for that one. Kickoff will be at 7 o'clock, same time as the Bulldogs right here. Of course, you can catch all our archived games throughout the year at KNDYradio.com. A big thank you to Tommy McNish, too, from the Marysville Technical Department, I guess. Had our YouTube feed up and going today. I know had a few ups and downs with it, but you can always check that out at Marysville Junior Senior High School on YouTube, or go to KNDYradio.com, too. We will have that link at the top of our website. Brian, last thoughts before we get off for the evening?
Yeah. I thought Marysville did a great job. Abilene's going to have a decent year. They've got a great quarterback. Marysville's got some things to learn. Mm-hmm. Luckily, these first few games don't really impact the season all that much. Mm-hmm. After the first 3 games, it then goes to district play. Mm-hmm. So learn these first few games. You don't have to win them. I thought Marysville can check that off their box. So great job. Max, great to have you here.
Of course, I always enjoy it. It's a joy to be able to do some home games here for Marysville and throughout the season. I'm sure my voice will be out there, even more as we get through on it, too, as well. So that's going to do it for us here tonight. Again, for Brian Crott, Max Blasky, Bruce Dierking back in the station. This has been Marysville Bulldog football right here on KNDY. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week as the Bulldogs travel to face Wamego.
At your service 24/7, on air, online, and on our mobile app. News, weather, sports, and more. Yours from KNDY.